best place to do it. And we are live, baby. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Deadhead Podcast, episode 52, right? Yes, I guess 52. See, I'm so unprofessional. I don't even remember what episode we're on. We're on episode 2 of season 2, which is a really good idea by Jan. We're going to call each season of the Deadhead Podcast, we'll call it an actual season, consists of 50 episodes. That was a great idea, and I can't take ownership of that. Thank you, everybody, for coming to another episode. We really do appreciate you. We have Russ from the Practikally YouTube channel back on with us. Russ, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good, man. Life is good, steady. They moving along with all this wonderful video game stuff we got going on today. Can't wait to talk about it.
Hell yeah, man. Jan, how's it going, man?
Pretty great. It's a beautiful Sunday. Went to the beach today, so I'm overall pretty relaxed. And yeah, what about you, dude?
Doing okay, man. I was actually it seems like the past few shows we've had, I feel kind of weird and tired and stuff, and then when I've come back to the show, I immediately get this burst of energy. So I hope that helps with you guys if you guys are feeling some type of way. And to you guys who are watching as well, whether you're watching this live or later or listening to us on Apple Podcasts, we do appreciate you coming back to the show, man, because I love doing this. I've been so busy. I haven't had time to make any videos, like no videos at all. Like I haven't made video in like 2 months. Russ, when was your last video made?
Now you're making me look. My last video was 3 weeks ago, but then if you want to count the shorts, then that's been maybe like a week or two. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Shorts count.
Yeah. Shorts are content too. Yeah. I mean, you definitely done more than I have.
Yeah, man. Steady. Trying to be as consistent as I can be, with regular life and all that. But hey, do what you can.
Preach.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some true shit right there. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely tried as well, but with everything going on, I've been very, very busy. Actually, I was telling Russ this before the show, just to let everybody know and Jan know because he wasn't here earlier. My daughter could be with me next weekend. Could be. My wife is having to be induced. Everything's fine, but they may have to move it up a week or so early. So I've been just trying to enjoy the time because I've actually had some downtime and I've actually beaten a game, which is crazy, right? Because I usually I've having a really hard time beating games here lately, and you wouldn't believe what I've started playing again. But we'll get back to that in a minute.
Oh boy.
So I've been very busy. Well, been busy up until this weekend, and now that I don't have as much going on, I don't know what the hell to do. Like it's like I'm so like I've been so busy that finally I have time. Like I really before I came on the show with you guys, I was sitting on my couch watching this show. Me and the wife have been checking out, and I just felt like a lot of it was just me on my phone, just sitting there doing nothing. So it feels good to have something to do actually because I've been so busy. So, but thank you guys for taking the time to come check out the Deadhead Podcast. Russ, appreciate you coming on, brother. We have an exciting topic today. Not exciting, but some things that are coming out for the better half of 2024, maybe a little bit of 2025 as well. Some games that are releasing that we are looking forward to. And we felt like Russ was a great guy to come on. I know he's been keeping an eye on the show and the channel. Really appreciate you, man, for checking us out and still being cool with us on the show. So with that being said, I feel like I've been running my mouth. You guys, why don't you go ahead and start off? I have a list right here, actually, of games that are releasing for the rest of 2024. But what are some things? We can start with our guest. We'll start with Russ. What are some games that you're looking forward to for 2024? You can start in July, or you can work your way down, however you want to do it, and we'll just go from
there. Okay. I don't know. Okay.
Hope you did your homework.
I mean, I'm ready for this. I'm just kind of like, what do I start with? Because I don't want to like take thunder. I mean, I guess I'll start with like the big one that's kind of on the background here, which is Assassin's Creed Shadows. That is one that I am dead set on playing when that comes out later this year. I haven't been on this. I missed Valhalla. I didn't play that one. Mainly because I'm not the biggest Viking dude. And as well as from just hearing how big that game was, I was just like, I don't have time. But this one seems like, they said it's going to be smaller. I, am of course like a big Japanese fan, if you couldn't tell. So this setting does it for me. The characters do it for me. I know there's a lot of controversy behind that. Me personally, I don't have an issue with it. And the gameplay looks like it's going back to kind of what old school Assassin's Creed is, you know, still having that RPG-ness in it from the newer games, but letting you still kind of tackle situations how you want to instead of, you know, having it be level gated like it has been. So that's got me excited. And yeah, that's one. That's one. There's a lot there, but that's the first one I'm gonna start with.
Well, just to interject, I know Jan is probably about to bash us both here in a minute because he's a Ubisoft hater. Like he fucking hates that company.
Yeah. And
So-
a proud one.
So but I'm right there with you actually because it does look it look like an Ubisoft game? Yes, like it just does. You can know it's going to have the open world, it's going to have the icons on the map and all kind of things like that. But at the end of the day, I do like that they're also catering to the old school fans with I don't remember what these characters' names are, but the assassin character and then there's the samurai character.
I think it's Yasuke and Naue.
Yeah, right. And so I do like that where you can kind of tackle missions with each character. You can go a different way about it. If you want to go stealth, you can go with her, or if you just want to just knock the door down, just kill everybody, you can go his way as well. I like that. I do like in games where there's a little bit more freedom with how even if there's like a bunch, and you know how Ubisoft is with Far Cry and The Division and Ghost Recon and then with Assassin's Creed as well, you have like a bunch of like fortresses and stuff where you have to go kill everybody on the rooftops and you can go quietly and go loud. That never gets old for me. If the gameplay is tight, that doesn't really get old for me. Ghost of Tsushima is a prime example of that. I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's a very Ubisoft ass game, but the gameplay is so tight. I can bring down any fortress in the world. It does not matter. It's so much fun. So I'm right there with you. I love the art style. Combat looks tight, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well. Jan, would you like to shit on us now for 5 minutes?
Before he does that, because I felt like that Clear the Throat had some intention behind it. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to the Ghost of Tsushima thing. Like, it is so crazy how many people are like jumping on this game for looking like Ghost of Tsushima. And I'm just like, games copy other games all the time. Like, we wouldn't have a lot of the modern games we would have today if they didn't copy some aspect, if not damn near the whole game into like something else. So like that whole thing, I'm just like, and maybe I'm talking to kids too. I don't know.
Probably.
But that just feels like a stupid thing to say because like everybody does it. That's what's happening with the Souls-like genre right now. Like every game is doing that. And it's just like, but y'all don't have a problem with that when it's happening on that. So I don't know.
Right.
Anyway. All right, let's hear it.
Go ahead.
Well, I can't in good faith shit on this game because I don't know nothing about it. I'm a professional hater, right? I only hate, when I have something to back it up, something to back up my hate. I was actually more so curious about a few things about this game, and I was hoping that you two guys could clear it up for me. So we have like two characters this time, right? And which kind of reminds me of Syndicate. See, I know Assassin's Creed.
Hey, there you go.
Characters, and I remember I played a game for a full 2 hours, I think. I remember being very annoyed because I think that the skill trees were like divided, if I remember correctly, even though they had pretty decently similar skills, right? They had some unique ones here and there. Is this going to be like the same song? Do we even know about that?
I mean, I don't think we've had like any concrete stuff, but yeah, I played Syndicate too. And I actually enjoyed it. I do agree there's issues with it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, I can't say if it's going to be similar. I think from what I've, heard and read, like they're really trying to make it feel like these two characters are like distinct in their own way. Whereas Syndicate, like, what's his name? The brother was the brawler and the sister was the stealth person, but they could still do both, fairly adequately. Here, I think they're trying to make it a point to, it's like, okay, no, like these are two distinct ways of playing the game, and like they're not gonna be good at what what the other does. You might be able
Right.
to like hang on for a little bit, but ultimately, a certain playstyle fits one of the characters, from my
Well, I mean,
understanding.
well, it would make sense, right? It would be pretty funny if you would, stealth take down like a huge fortress with a huge hunk of armor you have on with Yasuke. So it would be.
Yeah, and I think just go off what Russ was saying. Yeah, I think they're really trying to make it a goal to, because I agree the same. Like I didn't mind Syndicate. I love that. I don't want the games to get any more modern than Syndicate. I think that's about the most modern I would personally like. As far as like
Well,
getting to that
ain't that a
point.
shame, huh?
But it is. They were hyping that shit, but anyway, it's a whole other thing. They're doing a good. I think they're trying to definitely make them feel different because I mean, if you play as the samurai, I don't even know there's parkour. I mean, Russ, do you know? I don't even think there's gonna be parkour with him, right?
I'm not sure. I think if there is, it's going to be like very slow and not something that you'll be probably even want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine. Well, I mean, that could actually be a good idea, right? Because based on which character you're using, you're actually forced to take the mission in a specific kind of way. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass here. I'm not gonna make any kind of assumptions. However, I was curious. You did mention Russ. You did mention the controversy behind most of the Yasuke character.
Right.
Could you briefly explain it to me, because I fail to understand it? Because we do have a lot, like Yasuke, the samurai. From what I understand, he's a historical figure. He has actually existed, and there have been media released about him. Even recently, I think there was like a Netflix show about him or something.
Right. Yeah.
So what's the issue? What are people mad about?
So there's a lot of different angles to come at this, but the main controversy is that people are upset that you're not playing a native Japanese man in the game instead of you're playing Yasuke. That's the main sticking point. And then to like kind of further pull off of that, there's a whole bunch of back and forth of whether or not Yasuke was like an actual samurai. They're using the word retainer. So he was like he didn't actually see combat or whatnot. And it's just a whole back and forth about that, whether the game is historically accurate or not, which
kind of ridiculous. I mean,
it's Assassin's Creed, okay? Like anyway, but yeah, that's what everybody's up in arms about. And my take personally is, like I said, I don't really care about that. Like I understand, it's the only people that really have a right to be upset are the people that are natively from Japan. Like they're the only people that should really feel any type of way about this, because that's their culture, right?
Right.
And who am I to tell them, how to feel? Everybody else that's talking kind of just needs to shut up. Like most of his history is unknown to us, so we have no right to say what he did and didn't do.
Right.
Everybody knows he was there, but as far as what his actions are, that's up for interpretation. And you see those interpretations in every other piece of media that you just mentioned, like the TV shows. There's manga that feature him. I think he was in Neo, I think. So there's other games that have him in it. And each of those has a different interpretation of what he is. And I think another main problem is that since he's a historical figure that you're playing as, and that's the first time you get to play a historical figure in Assassin's Creed, usually they're like on the sidelines just helping you or whatever. But now that you're actually playing them, that's another sticking point. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of back and forth about that. And it's just like, it's just dumb.
Okay.
It's really dumb.
Yeah,
and of course, like you can't be satisfied with the native character that's there because it's a woman. They're upset about that. So it's just like, and they're like, oh, she physically can't, take down all these brute men. Like how is that accurate? It's just like,
what? Excuse me. All right, now I get it. So it's a bunch of nothing. Is what I'm
it's
understanding.
like a whole bunch of racist, misogynistic stuff. If we're being honest.
Okay.
Yeah, and that seems to surround a lot of like not a lot, but a few of Ubisoft games, especially with the whole like and you know we don't have to get into that.
I would say gaming in general.
Yeah, well, yeah,
honestly,
gaming
yeah.
definitely, but because of Ubisoft, because of it, for I think a few years ago they had some allegations of like some like harassment and stuff going on with some of the workers there. It's just got it seems like it's gotten worse, and so now when you have different, you know, when you have characters like we have in this new game, now you got, you know, people, oh well, I remember this from a few years ago, so now I'm going to judge every little bit about your game. And I don't know, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I think it comes down to good story, immersive world, and gameplay. That is it. And then honestly, even if the story is just average, just give me a world that feels alive and gameplay. Who cares? Here's the thing. Listen, Assassin's Creed is just not, it's not historically accurate. It never was. Dude, we're finding pieces of Eden, these glowing apples. It's not, if you want to go there, you might as well just like go all the way back to the first Assassin's Creed. In Valhalla, you're fighting fucking Odin at points. Like you're not,
I don't
you
know.
know what I mean?
Don't you shit on the first Assassin's Creed game, Dylan? On the
I'm not
first
shitting.
trailer of the first game, they took out a crossbow because it was not historically relevant or accurate. Didn't you remember that?
True. No,
they were trying. They were trying at
they were trying at first. Yeah, because now, like, and so, like, I don't know. I know Jan is pretty far removed from it, but Russ might be more familiar. So, like, I think in the newer trilogy of Assassin's Creed games, and in Assassin's Creed Origins, you play as a regular guy who can do godlike shit. But in the second and third one, you're playing as pretty much gods at that point. You're playing as like, and I think in Valhalla, you're playing as Odin's reincarnate.
Yeah, that's from what I remember. yeah, like Origins. What's his name?
Bayek.
Yes.
I love Origins. Actually, I'm sorry, I was being honest.
I should know that, but anyway, yeah, Bayek is just a regular dude, you know, getting thrown into all this weird crap. And then in Odyssey, whoever you decide to play as, it's kind of like, you know, it's implied that their lineage is kind of like special in a way. So that's why they're able to do all this mystical stuff. And then in Valhalla, yeah, you're just a reincarnated god at that point. So it's like it's more, yeah. And so and now from what it seems like, we're going back to regular people, you know, that have just trained, you know, to do this stuff.
So far,
right.
We don't know what the story is going to be, which is the other thing I kind of wanted to mention. Is like, people want to say the game is woke because of the characters as well. Like, they're pushing a woke agenda. You can't really say anything like that until you know what the story is. Like, if the story is pushing that kind of stuff, okay, yeah, I'll give it to you. But we don't know what the story is. And yeah, that's just something you have to wait on before you can say anything about that. And a lot of people, and that's why every time someone says something smart, I'm just like, have you played the game yet? Because I know the answer is no.
No, yeah. I mean, it's not even about that. Like, in my opinion, even if there is like a side to it that's, you know, being a bit emancipatory adjacent, I still feel it's a bit. It matters how it's handled, right? It matters on the dialogue. I remember there was God, I can't remember which one was it. There was like a movie, like a kind of a spy movie that came out a few years back that had an all-women cast, like all the main characters are women. And in that, maybe you guys can remember which movie it is, but in that movie, you had the main character like actively saying like to the camera, "Oh, women can do anything they want," and see, that's pushing it to me, because like it's like the classic show and tell, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you just show me like a strong female lead, that's one thing. Another thing is her like directly saying, "Oh yeah, like I can just take on the world because I'm a woman."
Got one.
Right?
I got one better. And you know, again, this is all light here. But at the end of Avengers Endgame,
oh yes,
that's very blatant. It's at the very end where I think it's so Spider-Man. He's a little bitch, Tom Holland. He's on the ground and he's holding. He's holding.
Iron Boy Jr.
Wow.
So he's holding the gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet, because they're trying to keep it. They're playing keep away from Thanos, and Captain Marvel just shows up and mows down like several Thanos thugs, and then he's like, that's a lot of, and there's like a whole army of Thanos is like they're coming up on close to them, and then Spider-Boy speaks up and goes, "Oh man, that's a lot of them. You sure you can do this all alone?"
Have we not read
And then-
Ultimate Spider-Man before?
Yeah, and then there's like all the female heroes just come up all of a sudden and go, "She's not alone." It's like 15 like
Okay.
female heroes, and they all band together and they fight some off. It was like whatever, like it's a unifying moment. I get it. It was kind of
well,
in
that's
your
not
face.
too bad.
It's not
That's not a-
bad, but it was just kind of like it was kind of when
yeah,
I
it was
watched
on the
I was,
nose.
Yeah.
I was a
It was
big
really
fan
on the
of it.
nose.
On the nose.
Even like my girlfriend at the time, we watched that movie together, and she was like, she didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, because it comes to the point that I'm pretty much speaking rhetoric at this point. But when you have to like repeat it so much, right, like a mantra, at that point, it pretty much diminishes the message.
Yeah.
But I think it can be done. Just to end off this tangent, I think it can be done with a bit of grace. An example comes to mind too is Lord of the Rings. I think it's a very final movie. There's a guy going, "Oh, fool, no man can kill me," and she goes, "I am no man," just chops his fucking head off. See, that's cool. That's badass.
Yeah,
I feel like that works.
And it was like played as a joke almost.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
kind of. I mean, it's a quip. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you? I mean, y'all have seen Alien, right? Like the
Right.
original Alien. Like,
course,
I mean, obviously, like the what's her name? I'm drawing a blank here. The main character in that, like,
Ripley.
Yeah, Ripley.
Ripley,
That's it. Yep. Yeah, I thought the way they handled her character at the end was a badass too. It's just when it's right in your face. I get what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, I never really felt that way with Assassin's Creed though, and the whole like going woke, I don't quite get that at all.
I mean, woke is kind of a non-word at this point. It's much like whatever conservatives don't like. That's what woke means at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Right on the nose.
But so quick question before we move on from that, and then I want to hear which one Jan's looking at right now. So do you have any interest at all? Would you at least try out Assassin's Creed Shadows, Jan?
Well, are you asking me?
Like, yeah, I'm asking you. Would you even try? Would you even try? Because you're not.
You're
really
the only one that's not going to play it.
But
yeah, pretty much. Well, I feel like okay. If it's given to me for free, if I got like a free trial or something like that, then I'll check it out definitely.
All right. Well,
there
I
don't
like
that. Yeah, because I'm not gonna spend cash on it. Because I mean, on the end of the day, like, don't call me a hater. But I only really mention Assassin's Creed or Ubisoft games in a bad light when I actually have like something specific about the gameplay design of those games that I want to point out and maybe like put in, maybe reflect it to something else that I am playing, right? Make a contrast. Otherwise, I just really don't bother with them because I played a fair share of Assassin's Creed, back in its heyday when the hit craze, with the Ezio trilogy. I played those. I played the hell out of those. And just growing up, I figured out it's not the kind of game that I'm interested in playing. It's a weird blend between kind of a chill out game because it's not too demanding, right?
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, like it's something you play, when you're just sitting back on a couch, just want to complete some quests. But at the same time, it's also has it's weirdly well, I don't want to say complex, but it's really complicated in some areas, right? You can't just pick up and play it anytime. It's like an arcade kind of game. You have a lot of things you have to think about, right? The controls are not super intuitive.
Now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with all the tacked-on RPG stuff. So it's just something that I can't enjoy. And Dylan talked about how he can't enjoy Elden Ring. He's sorry about it, right? And well, I kind of get it because not all games are for everyone, and Assassin's Creed really tries really hard to be for everyone. I guess I'm the odd one out because I can't seem to enjoy them.
And like for all intents and purposes, this game could be complete ass. Like, like when it comes out, it could completely suck. Yeah. But just off of what we've seen, it looks promising.
Yeah, I think that's the right word to say. I think it looks promising, and honestly, like maybe that could be a potential episode towards the end of the year. You know what I mean? Jan, come on, man. Like, you at least give it a shot. Listen, if the big complaint is that it's woke and it looks like Ghost of Tsushima, I would say that sounds right up my alley in my opinion. Because if it's anything like Ghost,
definitely, anything that's woke, just eat it up. Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I'm woke as hell. I mean, just look at me.
God, he's an old. See, we were talking. Me and Russ were talking about being old souls. That was an old ass joke you just made.
Oh man, is that a dad joke?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh no.
That's kind of shit. I'm supposed to
Maybe
be
I'm
saying that.
expecting a child. Yeah.
Man.
Oh shit!
Oh,
All right,
imagine
forget the
that.
gaming. Let me hear more about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I got an ex-girlfriend calling me.
Oh, and wow, damn, that's okay. She just didn't tell you. Like, okay then.
Yeah, imagine that. Well, well, I don't keep tabs on all of them. I don't know what they're up to.
Jesus.
All right.
All right. Jan, let's move on from that shit.
Right. So video games, right?
What's something you're looking forward to the end out 2024?
Okay, there are a few. So there's one which I already talked about, which is Metaphor ReFantasio. So yeah, it's weeb as hell. So maybe I know that this one might not be up Dylan's alley, but it's the one from the makers of Persona. Yeah, so Dylan being looking very
Okay.
confused. Yeah, so
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, I get like when you said it so fast.
like-
I'm like
Yeah.
looking. I'm like, what the fuck?
and
is
it's a weirdest title. Yeah,
Not an easy
so,
name.
Yeah,
I'd
I don't
stick
know
with you
how
like
to
that.
come up with those, honestly.
Wait a minute. What? So say it one more. Say it one more time. What is it called? I'm sorry.
Metaphor.
Okay.
Metaphor.
Okay.
2 dots. ReFantasio.
Okay.
With a
Okay.
Z,
Yeah, I see
I'm
it. I
pretty
see it
sure.
right. Yeah, I see it right here. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, I like Atlas. I like their games. And then I like the artistic style of this one, even though I don't like the anime cutscenes. Those have been looking bad since for a good while now. Ever since Persona 5. I mean, they just don't match up the style of the game. I feel like when they cut from the gameplay, I almost prefer the 3D CGI cutscenes because they're more in line with the design philosophy of this game. I mean, think Persona 5, right? Think the
Yeah.
Persona 3 Reload, right? Think of just how bland those cutscenes look.
Yeah.
But that's it's just a tangent. Overall, it looks really cool. The story, I don't like spoiling myself too much, but it sounds like the raw concept sounds just very interesting. You know how the Japanese are. They can really come up with crazy stories, and sometimes, if we're lucky, make it work. So I kind of wishing on a star with this one, and I know the gameplay is going to be fire. You just know it. Even like Shin Megami Tensei 5, everybody bashes the story of that game, but the gameplay is always fire. The music is always fire. So yeah, that's one I'm looking forward to. Russ, I saw you like kind of nodding in agreement.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one I am looking forward to. Now, the only thing with that is I'm probably not going to get around to it because Atlas and their games, they take an entire lifetime to try and finish. Yeah. So that is one where it's like, if I had the time, I would definitely dive into it. But it is still one that I'm excited to at least, see come out and like see, kind of what happens with it, because I enjoy their games when I get to play them. Like I enjoy Persona 4. The little bit I played of 3, I enjoyed. I didn't touch 5 because I knew how long that was going to take. But seeing the trailers and even some of the developer talks with it, if you want to call that, or previews, yeah, it looks like honestly more Persona, just like with a kind of a little bit different aspect around it. And I think I even said that in one of my videos, like it is basically Persona with like a different background.
Yeah, without the social, without the whole time aspect,
which isn't a bad thing. I think I was hoping for it to be a bit more different than what it kind of looks like, but what I'm seeing still is like great. So like I'm not upset about that.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah.
So Dylan, how about we can trade off? I mean, if I'm going to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, you got to play this one.
Oh
that's
yeah,
the way it works.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I tried Persona 3. It's Reload, right?
Yeah, Reload.
I've put like 14 hours into it, so there was fun to be had.
I'm surprised at that.
I
mean, you get to finish the tutorial in that time.
I was saying, hold on a minute. Now, see, I have to go at Russ's neck for a second. How is that surprising? I like turn-based combat. I just wasn't really. I don't know, like I'm just not as much into the anime style
Mhm.
as much. It turns me away because I can't stand like the voice acting. And I know what people say, well, stop being a noob and watch it. And it's like in the original, language. But it's like I just can't. I don't like reading subtitles when I'm just trying to watch
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
all the
Mhm.
time. All the time. If it's like I've watched. Look, I'm a big Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul guy. There's a lot of Spanish speaking in that show, and there'll be subtitles for like 10 or 15 minutes at a time. It's like, okay, I can do that. But I have to sit there and watch it the entire time. It's like, but I actually did like Persona 3 Reload. I just didn't like the other shit. So I love the combat. I like the art style. The soundtrack slaps hard, but everything else sucks.
Well, I mean, well, so maybe, so
Sorry, I'm sorry. That's not
no,
true.
it's
It doesn't.
no, it's fine.
It doesn't suck.
it's not for
It's just not
you.
for, it's just not for me.
There you
Yeah,
go.
so-
Yeah, so
sorry
Cool,
about
yeah,
that.
cool
I thought you were gonna say something else. That's why there was an awkward pause.
well, I was
there.
gonna say, oh,
I-
how dare you say that about Persona? Best game ever. It has no flaws.
No, I just thought it was
that
funny
was my Wii voice, by the way.
because Russ was just like, oh man, that's actually is kind of surprising. For like 14 or 15 hours. I was surprised myself. I made it through, but it's just the I did not care for the doing regular shit in between the battle
Mhm.
parts. Like I just wanted to
Yeah,
fight.
having a
Just
life.
Yeah.
I was whooping everybody's ass. I'm like making my way through Tartarus, making my way down Tartarus. It was such a good time. Like I was having a great time. And then I have to go
Dad
back
jokes.
and take classes and shit. I know. Taking classes and shit and going to work and stuff after I've already worked like 10 or 12 hours at my actual job. Why would I want to come home and do that?
I had, and went to school for like 12 years.
No, that's also
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
And
no,
still
it's-
don't know the answers to some of the stuff they asking in that class.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
dude.
Uh,
I mean, like you think you'd be screwed when they ask like Japanese history and stuff, but even the other ones, like the algebra ones, are like,
Yeah, bro. Like I'm not even gonna fault you for that because like that stuff, honestly, like at least in like a 4 and 3, like I still pulled up guides for that stuff just because I didn't feel like kind of waste just kind of being inefficient with it and just wasting time picking the wrong answers or missing stuff. So that's what kind of helped my experience with that, with kind of just blow buying all that stuff. Because you're right, like the dungeon and the dungeon fighting and the bosses are definitely some like the highlights of the game. I'd say some of the social aspects in terms of like the party are definitely aspects that I enjoyed. Everything else, like the side quests, some of them, I didn't really care for. Having to find a job, I was like, that's I was like, okay. But yeah, there's a lot in it. I think honestly, some of it could be trimmed down, just because it's a life simulator essentially. Except you're fighting giant ass shadows in another dimension. But I definitely can see those aspects turning people away, because that is a big part of the, more so than the dungeon stuff. That is a big part of the game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's considering that's mostly what they like to show off and market. It can throw a lot of people off when they jump into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's kind of it's a kind of hit or miss, right? I mean,
Right.
for people like me, that the idea that of seeing something I never seen before in a game like that, it really drove me to play it more. I really like how it integrated to the rest of it. But you said some people are just not into that.
Yeah, and just to go off of that, I mean, I just hearing you talk about it, Jan, I know it's I know the story. I'm sure the story is awesome. I'm sure it's great. Honestly, I do want to look more into it, but I just don't know if I can personally get to that point, because it's just with all the other stuff. It just look. The thing is, Russ, have you? I don't know how far back you've watched this, but one of the things I talk about in previous episodes is just the value of time and having time to do things. And I just don't have the time to play like I used to. I just do not. And that's one reason why I probably will never. I love Elden Ring as a game, but I also hate it at the same time because I just don't have enough time to get good. That would literally have to be the only game I played for the next 5 years before it's like, holy shit, I'm half decent at this,
Right.
and only half decent, not even that good. So like with a game like Persona, like, and even the game that's dropping soon, like I'm definitely gonna play them. And listen, if that one grabs my attention, I will play it from start to finish. But it's just my time is just so, and it's about to get even worse now. So it's like I don't even
tell me about it.
If I finish any more games for the rest of my life at this point, I will be doing something good. Which I have finished one, but anyway, but that's I want to give it its flowers though, because it is a great game. I can say that just like Elden Ring. Like at the end of the day, like it's not my game, but I love it. Same goes with Persona. I don't love that one, but I also see the potential.
You can see the light like at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I see the potential.
Cool.
But yeah, no, so that's a good one to look out for.
That's
So I was looking in July's window, like all the things that are coming out in July. I don't really see
this month?
anything. Yeah. I don't really see much that's really grabbing my interest, but I'm gonna go ahead and skip to August. And there's a couple in August, but the one that sticks out to me the most is Star Wars Outlaws. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about that because me and Jan kind of talked about this on last episode. It's an Ubisoft game, so obviously there comes the baggage right there. But I think it looks good. I think it looks good in a lot of ways, right? I think the gameplay looks okay. I think the movement looks all right. I think there's going to be some exploration. But one of the things I'm already not liking is the main character. I'm not a fan of the character. She just seems a bit too Dora the Explorer for me.
Choose your next words carefully.
I know. I know. Every time I mention it, I start to kind of like, okay, let me watch. That's one of the reasons why I haven't made a video on it, because I've actually wanted to make a video on it, but then it was like, it's gonna come out wrong no matter whatever I say it. I can actually have good, concise thoughts and actually pulling from multiple sources, and it still gets looked at, oh well, you're anti-feminist and you hate women, and that's not it. Listen, I don't mind playing as a female character. As a matter of fact, I've come on the show several times and said, listen, if we're still at a point where you don't like playing as a female character, I think you just need to stop playing games. Like, I think you're just weird. Like, what's wrong with that? If she's a good character, who gives a fuck? It does not matter. Anyway,
right.
So Star Wars Outlaws, I think it looks like a beautiful game, but I'm not feeling the main character. Just the cutscenes I've seen her in, she just seems a bit too. And she's supposed to play like the role of like a rascal almost, like, you know. And we've seen that in Star Wars before.
Female Han Solo, really.
Right? Han Solo. That was actually what I was about to say. He's a very rascal type character, but it just isn't hitting well with me because one, I feel like I've seen it before, and two, she just comes off a bit too like childish, and she's like literally killing people. She's killing these like stormtroopers, and I just don't really. I don't really feel that. Like if she was like more of like a Tomb Raider, like a Lara Croft kind of character, where it's just like, okay, well, she's raiding tombs and shit, and she's killing mercenaries. Okay, makes sense. But with this, I'm not really feeling it. What do you? I think I know Jan's thoughts. Russ, what are your thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws?
So yeah, I think it's very. I'm intrigued by it. It's funny. The more I see it, the less kind of interested I get in it. Like the first time they showed it off, I was like, like this is really cool. Yeah. And then this past time we saw it at SGF or Ubisoft or whatever you want to call it. My main takeaway was kind of the opposite of you. It was like the gameplay, at least the gunplay. It didn't look impactful at all. It looked very just kind of bland, and I don't know what it was. It just felt like, taking cover and popping out and shooting dudes. It didn't feel like I didn't feel anything. I think the exploration of it is cool. I think that's probably the main thing that's got me, like being able to like hop in the ship and just seamlessly go into space and go back to another planet. That part is really cool to me, and like getting into random space battles and whatnot. The main character, yeah, I'll agree. Like she doesn't do anything for me really, but at the same time, I don't really know anything about her. So it's like I can't really say too much on that. She doesn't. I mean, at this point, she's just kind of a there to me. I'm more interested in the. I'm honestly more interested in the pet than her, if you're being honest. um,
Yeah.
yeah, but considering how, I guess, big the scope of this game kind of seems to be, I'm kind of really wanting to see how they pull it off. I think that's the main reason why this is kind of has my attention. But it's again, if the main thing is going to be like I said, taking folks out, that part kind of needs to. They need to show something where I feel that more. I don't know, like it. It just wasn't there. Like, because I keep comparing it to like Uncharted and like maybe Gears of War to an extent. I know you've been playing Gears of War a lot. And when you're in those gunfights, you feel like you're really in those gunfights.
Yeah.
Here, it kind of just looked like you were kind of observing it
Yeah.
more than actually participating in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe that's from just the early previews. I don't know, but
Right.
that's kind of my stance on it. It looks cool, but it doesn't have my attention that much.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And you can minus all the pre-order microtransaction crap that's going on, but
yeah, I mean, again, well, I mean, it's a thing that I think it's one of the things that I'm sure Jan throws into some of his stuff with Ubisoft. It's like it's the same practices with every game. I mean, like whether it be the Avatar game, the Pandora game. I wanted to see what the visuals look like for that so bad. I spent $70 on it when it first dropped, and I played it for like an hour and never touched it again. And now, because like especially with the baby on the way and everything, money's a little tighter than it was. Let's be. I'm just being honest. I'm not, not trying to put my business out there. I wish I had that $70 back because I'm like, damn, that shit, it sucks so bad. Like, but like, dude, we gotta admit though, Ubisoft does make beautiful games. I'm sure the environments will be awesome. I'm sure everything will look great. I'm sure the interiors will look awesome. The feeling of Star Wars, I think they can do a good job with that. I feel like they can. I think you're saying it's everything else. And I get what you're saying too about the gunplay. Like, I saw some gameplay recently where she's pretty up close to a stormtrooper, and she like pulls the trigger like 3 times, and they finally drop, and it doesn't feel like it has a lot of impact. I did like that she's able to take off attachments. It kind of reminds me of Control. And I know Jan has played that recently.
Oh, yeah.
Not recently, but
well, I mean, 2 years ago.
But yeah.
Well,
all right, my days is running together, dude.
What is 2 years?
But it's that same way, like being able to change your muzzle to where the gun will shoot different, whether it be shotgun or whatever, like something like that. And I think that's kind of the same thing. So, but I'm right there with you. It doesn't look it doesn't look inspired, right? Because I like the third person cover shoot. I mean, yeah, like you said, I've been playing a lot of Gears of War. Those games are older, but man, the gameplay still works. It just still feels. Yeah, it still works, man. It's like I forget what Bethesda. What's his name? Todd Howard. It just works. It just works. The gameplay just works. It does.
Yeah,
it does.
At least it was
Outlaws. I don't know.
At least that was a true statement then.
yeah. Right. Wait, what? Oh, was that sarcasm? Was I being sarcastic? Wasn't he saying that about Fallout 76?
No, I'm talking about when Gears of War came out. At least that was a true statement then.
Oh, yeah. No,
now not so much for anything.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely fallen off. I want to try to finish all of them though before E-Day, but that's besides the point. Main thing is it just doesn't look as inspired when it comes to combat. But yeah, going out of space, going to a planet, pretty seamless. There is a loading screen, but you can't really see it. You just get surrounded by clouds, and then you just fly right into the planet's surface. But that's cool though. If you can, I just wonder how much of each planet you'll be able to explore. Will you be able to go away from these cities and go do side quests? I'm sure they'll have that.
If they Starfield that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something, Jan?
Yeah, no. I mean, I was just gonna pretty much agree with you guys, but also add on to the fact that I'm definitely not buying this game day one because of this exact thing that Dylan said. I mean, these games, you buy them for like $70 at launch, or if you want, you can buy them from $110 or something. So if you want to, dye the character's hair orange or whatever, and and then like, by the end of the year, you can find the most expensive edition for like you know, on like a resale bin for like $30. So I think that's with like all the expansions, like the season pass and all that. So I feel like that's when I'm gonna play this game. One day I'm gonna be walking like in my most trusted game store. I'm gonna see that game, you know, in the kind of in a pile with all the other ones, and I'll be like, oh yeah, it's time. Trying to treat myself because honestly, I feel like I could, yeah, everything you guys said. I think it could be enjoyable. Not great, definitely not great. I definitely will not remember it. You know, when I'm like 7 years old, and you know, my grandchildren ask me, you know, what are some greatest games of your time? It's not gonna come to memory then. But I feel like I'm gonna have, you know, as I said, some laid back fun with it.
Mhm.
I might skip the cutscenes if the character gets too annoying. My problem with that, she's kind of dorky. That's my problem with it, and that's kind of problem that a lot of not just games. I feel like even like movies have nowadays. They have like these very quirky characters, but that have no depth. They're pretty much, you know, just walking quip machines,
Mhm.
which is kind of what happened to the Star Wars medium as a whole. You know, they
Yeah.
fly now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like she's gonna be. I feel like she's gonna be like that. You're gonna, as Dylan said, you're gonna fucking blow a stormtrooper's head off, clean off. She's gonna say like, "Oh, well, that's gonna hurt in the morning," or
Some
whatever.
shit like that. Well, it can't be as bad as like think about Nathan Drake, right? Like we're all Uncharted
Okay.
fans, right? We
Okay.
love
Okay.
Nathan
Yeah,
Drake.
you're
But
walking on thin
I
ice
know,
here.
I know, I know, I know. But listen, he's a mass murderer, though. Let's be honest. He's killed
Yeah,
so
he
many
is.
people, and literally, he has lines in the game where if you keep landing headshots, he'll say,
Mhm.
"Damn, I'm a nice shot," while he's blowing somebody's head off. Don't
I
tell me it
mean,
doesn't sound
Yeah,
vicious
he
as
goes,
fuck,
"Kitty got
man.
he's
wet."
not lying though. He's not lying.
He's not lying.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You know what the difference is? No, I completely agree. I mean, it's a whole topic here about ludonarrative dissonance.
Right.
They talked a lot about it when Uncharted 4 dropped. But here's the thing. Nathan Drake is charming.
That's true.
That's the big one. Nathan Drake, yeah, he
Yeah.
is exactly that. He's, you know, a very
You
action
want to be
hero
with
like.
you want to hang out with that guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. You want to get a beer with him. When he goes, damn, a good shot. You're like, hell yeah, dude. Like up five, you know.
Yeah.
When these other characters say these lines, I'm just like, you know, it feels like, you know, listening to like a teenager who just learned about what sarcasm is, you know.
Mhm. By no
Just-
means am I comparing Nathan Drake and this character, by the way. I hope you guys didn't think
yeah,
that.
no,
Like Nathan Drake's a freaking legend. He's an absolute legend. Like the character's a legend. Like let's get that straight.
hell
I,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
it's
know.
like that was like the, you know, that's what I was saying. Like this the way
Mhm.
he
No.
is. It is more. He's a scoundrel too, but it's just Nathan Drake's pretty capable. I'm not saying she's
Mhm.
not, but she just gives off this Dora the Explorer feel. And I'm just not really a fan of it right now. But then, like Russ said, I mean, maybe she's got a really good
Maybe.
story, and maybe it'll be something interesting. But I'm in total agreement. Russ, is it day one for you, or what do you wait?
No, it's definitely a way because isn't this and something else dropping like around the same time? I know what it is because I think it's my next game I'm about to talk about.
Let's hear it.
But before I get to that, but yeah, it's not gonna be a day one. Just because again, it's another massive game. I'm trying to limit how many massive games I'm tackling, and Assassin's Creed is already one of them. So it's like I'm trying to like tackle some smaller stuff as well. So I'm not spending all my time playing and then not, you know, being able to try other stuff nor like put up videos on things that I have done.
Yeah, dude. True that. True that. That's why I'm going through Gears right now because they're like 8 to 10 hour campaigns, and then I can move
Right.
on, you know, and I can have a good enough time. It's a good story. Everybody tries to act like it's some of the greatest storytelling ever. It's not, but it's decent though. It's pretty good, and they're so easy to go through, and they're not as taxing. I'm the same way. Like, we can get more into it in the show. I know Jan is about to roll his eyes in a minute, so I'm not going to go that far on it. But I've kind of picked back up Rebirth again. I've kind of started playing Rebirth a little bit. I'm only on like chapter 11, so I'm still a good bit from the end. But
that's
I
one where a
have,
lot of people.
but I have
complain
been
about.
playing. I have been playing it in a better way that's not tiring me out as much. I'm really just playing just the main story. I am tackling like random encounters just to kind of level gate a little bit, but I have been mostly just playing through the main story because I'm like, dude, fuck that. I'm not looking for somebody's magic conch on a beach somewhere. I'm not helping this old lady find her cat. I'm just not doing it. I'm done with it.
All right.
I'm done with the bullshit. So I'm just gonna play the story. Yeah, chapter 11 sucks. I know what your part you're referencing, the part when you play as
Catchy, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole
Well,
other
I mean, but you know what? I mean, I never thought there was gonna get a chance to like rant about this, but I feel like people are kind of exaggerating on that because it's not, dude. Here's the thing. I feel like I get it. When the first time I saw people complaining about it, I was like, oh yeah, the part was a bit annoying, but now it's a phenomenon. Everybody's shitting on chapter 11. I feel like chapter 11 has become
because everybody finally got to it.
Yeah, but on honest, so I don't understand. It's huge. I feel like there's a lot more sections that are more deserving, of skepticism than the catch sheep part. I mean, first off, it takes like 30 minutes tops to beat it. So I really don't understand. I mean, it's like, yeah, you have to move boxes very slowly, which is, you have to do it like 3 times max, and that's it. I mean, on hard mode, it's more of a challenge because then you cannot heal and you have to replay those mini games every damn time you wanna retry that part. But yeah, okay.
And then yeah, Jan's kind of tired of talking about Rebirth. I only bring that up because it just I've kind of dabbled with it just to take a break from Gears because I've been playing so much of that. And it's like it starts to. Have you guys ever felt that where you're playing games that are very similar? They start to kind of get numb after a while. Like, and I start to feel that way with Gears. Like Gears combat's awesome, it's fun, but it's like each one, it's like there's not much differences between each one, and I'm just starting to get numb. So I was like, let me try Rebirth again, and I've had a decent amount of time with it, but I'm waiting to hit that wall that's like, fuck this game. I'll wait till whatever the third one is. But anyway, so that's all I got on that. Russ, what was your next one you wanted to talk about?
So next one is Black Myth Wukong.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yep.
That is one that I've been looking forward to since pretty much they first ever showed it off, honestly, and we were like wondering if it was even going to come over here. But yeah, that one's I think August 25th, somewhere in there.
That is,
I think it's the 20th from what I see on here.
20th. Yeah. So I don't know if I told you guys this, but again, I'm not the biggest, I guess, Souls-like game, and they're like going on record saying that it's not a Souls-like, it's an action game. Okay, sure, I'll take your word for it, but if it looks like something close enough, you can probably draw enough comparisons to it. But regardless, the only time I really play them is, like I said, when the aesthetic or the world that they're taking place in, attracts me. And of course, this is like Journey to the West. We have a lot of stuff based on that. Dragon Ball, of course, the biggest one. So like, this really spoke to me in that way of like seeing their interpretation of it and actually being able to play as like the legendary character himself. Like, I don't know how many games out there where you've been able to do that. I'm sure there are some, but I just don't know what they are. So, and looking at all the gameplay that we've seen from it, it looks incredible. Like, I don't like the stuff they're doing with like some of the environmental stuff honestly looks pretty cool too. And it just looks like a giant spectacle. So yeah, like this is probably going to be the one that's taken over instead of Outlaws. If this wasn't coming out, I'd probably give Outlaws a shot, but if this is like, I think right before it in terms of, and on my calendar at least. And I don't know how long it is, but considering that it's one of those types of games, a lot of death is going to happen and it's going to probably take forever. So yeah, that's my take on it. That's the next one I'm looking forward to this year. What about you guys? What are your thoughts on it?
I'm playing it, definitely. I also remember when the very first trailer dropped, and not only we didn't think they would come over to the West, we didn't think it was real. I thought it was one of those. Yeah, I mean, like this game is too good to be true. like what from small Chinese developer. They make this incredible looking game. Yeah, right. Like
Like,
it's
how
the
does
day
someone that team
before
this
it,
small make something look this good? Like, this is
Yeah,
not.
exactly. Like,
So I haven't. They made one
and
before this, right?
but yeah,
They
it's
made
like we
one.
said. So I mean, the animations are
Oh,
just incredible. Go ahead.
oh wow.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I
I
kind of
don't
got like
know.
it froze on my end. I didn't even know you were talking right now.
Yeah, you fell behind a second.
Yeah. So it got kind of quiet. So I was gonna give my spiel, and it just kind of went quiet. My bad, man. I wasn't trying to mess with you.
No, it's good. It's good. To answer your question, I don't know if they did anything before, but they're definitely not known. So if they did anything before, it couldn't have been too impactful.
Okay.
Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah. No,
You're
I was.
looking it up. Mhm.
Well, so what I was gonna do is what I was gonna say is I thought they had made like a game before this, but I might be wrong on that because I can't find anything. But just to get my spiel on it, I wasn't really. It's not that I wasn't really looking forward to it. I just one of those that I wasn't really looking forward to as much. But the atmosphere, just like most Souls games, the atmosphere wins me over every time. And I think just from an atmosphere standpoint, I'm definitely going to give it a try. Hopefully, Jan will buy it digitally so I can game share. But anyway, so
Hope springs eternal, you know.
but yeah, no, I'll definitely give it a shot. Can you create your own character, or do you play as like? I'm
No.
sorry, I don't know much about it, so sorry.
I think it's him. You know. It's
Yeah,
the-
I'm pretty sure it's
the
just that. Yeah,
Sun
Wukong
Wukong,
himself.
right?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
looks
looking
good.
up the developer.
Yeah, I don't even know who's. Yeah, I don't know the developer either.
Game Science, and they don't even have like a Wikipedia page. So I mean,
Oh, okay.
I think
Okay.
that's telling in and of itself.
Okay. So I must be thinking. Wait a minute. You said they don't have a Wikipedia page?
They do not.
I got one right here.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Well, then they failed to make a link in the Wukong page.
Anyway, yeah, it looks good though. The gameplay, it gives me vibes of like Souls, but honestly, it gives me more of vibes of like Jedi Fallen Order. Like I was thinking about that earlier.
and
Like kind of has that vibe.
that's what they've compared themselves to, honestly. Which I
To
can see
what?
that the Jedi games like Survivor and Fallen Order.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so yeah, Souls adjacent. I get it.
Yeah, which yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I mean, I also kind of hate comparing everything to Dark Souls because that's I feel like that's become the trend, right? So as soon as a game is a bit more difficult and is like an action RPG, it's Dark Souls. I feel like I understand what I mean to say. I understand why the developer would kind of feel annoyed. Like, no, we're
Right.
not making Dark Souls. We're making our own thing here.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I feel like, and I hope this don't sound too bad, but it's like I like the combat way better in Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor. It just feels more. It feels faster to me. It feels more impactful, in my opinion. That's one of the reasons I don't really like. Another thing I don't like about Souls games is maybe I just haven't had the best weapon yet. But I don't feel like the combat has that. Like Russ was talking about earlier, like impact. I don't feel like it has the type of impact I like, but that's just a preference thing. I know a lot of people
It's a
don't
bit
really feel that way.
slower.
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order is a bit faster, and I just like
Mhm.
fast. Like there's actually a game, and I don't think it's before Jan gives his next pick. I don't think it's coming out this year, but just as like a I guess honorable mention for 2025. What's that other? Do you guys know of that other game? It's kind of like it's has a lot to do. It's like a samurai type game. I can't remember what it's called, but it kind of has that
Phantom
same.
Blade.
And
Phantom
That's
Blade
it.
Zero.
Yeah, that's it. That looks awesome. That looks
Yeah.
amazing. By the
Oh, yeah.
way, I know
Well,
that's
I mean,
kind of
we know
random.
nothing about it, so
No, not
Yeah,
much.
hard
so
to comment on
that's
it.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, just from what we've seen, though, it looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, samurais are cool,
There
and
you go.
everything you see in the
Awesome.
game is cool. I mean, yeah, I feel like we come to a point in our careers, gaming careers, we're just like, okay, when you look at a trailer, we go, okay, it looks very cool, but is it?
Yeah, because we've been
Right?
burned so many times.
Yeah, exactly.
That's also true. Jan, what's your next one, man?
My next one is a bit of a niche one. It's Enotria, the last song. With this one is a Souls-like. And it's made
Okay,
by,
yeah, I remember.
yeah.
I remember that one. Yeah.
When
Yeah,
does
it's
that
made
when
by-
does that come out? When does that come out?
That is coming out in September, specifically September 21st.
Okay. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, it's so it is a Souls-like. But they are, and it's based off kind of Mediterranean, specifically like Italian culture. It looks very cool. So you got the masks, you got those colorful cities, you got the coastlines, the rocky shores, all the works. And it looks okay. The animations look a bit janky. I hope that they kind of work on that a little bit. They polish it, but the environments look very good. I really like the aesthetic of it all, and for the developers have been very forthcoming with not only what they're borrowing from the Souls formula, but what they're changing about it. They let you respec stats on the go. They let you have a lot more on-the-fly customization. So it's just like it's like what they think. Obviously, the Dark Souls formula is considered to be perfect, but it's not. Nothing is, right? So, and these guys, they have the balls to kind of take it and go, you know what? We think we can make it better, and I just applaud them for that. So I'm just curious to see what they do. I don't play a lot of Souls likes because I feel like once you've tasted something as great as Dark Souls, everything else just feels like it's just not it, and I like I don't want to sound I don't want to sound like I'm bashing other attempts at it. I legitimately tried playing a lot of other ones. Play Neo, play Lords of the Fallen. None of them. Salt and Sanctuary, that was more of a 2D one. None of them managed to grab my attention for too long. And usually the ones that are like Souls adjacent, like Wukong, are the ones that managed to grab my attention. But this one, I'm willing to give it a try. I might be a bit biased, but I'm actually not, because the game studio is from Milan, and I fucking hate Milan. So there's that. You can even call me biased.
Not the
So what do you
prejudice
guys think
is
of it?
crazy. So yeah, I remember seeing that game, or like one of the first few trailers of that game. I thought it was cool because or I thought it was one of the few, I guess, Souls-like games that was like, kind of felt different in what they were doing. Especially in terms of like the whole mass thing. And the fact that, it's daylight outside.
Depressing,
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, like, and that's a real thing. Like, it didn't feel like a depressing game. Honestly, looking at it now, when you play it, it might
probably
be
is,
different.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what grabbed my attention about it. Like, now, I'm probably not going to play it because I can only take a handful of those games at a time. And I'm already playing one this year, well, adjacent. So that'll be enough. And there's another one that I don't know for certain if it's like that, but that's coming out this month that I want to try at the very least. And I'm like, that'll be good for me because I can't, my mental can't take it.
Had your fill.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it definitely looks like a cool game. I wish I had more to say, but that's
No, it's good. You have more to say than Dylan, so I think Dylan's kind of getting caught. Well, I'm not coming at you or anything. You seem out of your element,
Oh, no, I'm actually looking more into it because honestly, I'm gonna be right down honest with you guys. I didn't know anything about it at all. Like, so I was just kind of looking into it while you guys were discussing it. I'm probably gonna be like Russ here. I'll definitely check it out. Right. I want to find a good Souls game that I can actually enjoy, even though it kicks my ass. Like Lies of P. I tried Lies of P. It's a lot of fun, but I kind of just dropped it because it reminded me of why I hate these games. So I was like,
well,
I stopped playing it.
I'm gonna say to you, Dylan. I don't think this game has a physical release scheduled, so I'm probably gonna get it digital.
All right, good deal.
So there's that.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. We're hurting out here in these streets right now. I need some. I'll definitely check it out, especially if you buy it. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't I try it? So,
why not?
Yeah. No. So yeah, it's aesthetic. I mean, you know me. I'm all about aesthetically pleasing games. It looks right up my alley, but the gameplay will probably piss me off. But I'll at least check it out. So my next one is, I don't know if you guys are really going to be as excited about it because I know Jan's not an Xbox guy, and Russ, are you an Xbox PC player at all, or you just PlayStation?
I've always like enjoyed like Xbox games. I've predominantly been a PlayStation person, but like my friends have had Xboxes. You know, when I finally got my PC, I was able to play some. So I'm not like against Xbox.
Okay.
But
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, the reason why I bring that up is because there's a game called Stalker 2 that comes out in September.
Yeah.
It kind of it's been a long time since I played the first Stalker. I mean, it's been several years since it's been that long. It just has a very like. Have you guys played Metro Exodus at all? Metro Exodus.
I played parts. I played a bit of it, and then I was like, I am too chicken to play through any more of the rest of this game, so I'm gonna stop.
And
yeah,
I just read the first novel that the game is based on.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
I'm getting more out of
It kind of has that same look to it. You know, I know Jan knows more about it than you might, Russ. But I'm a big apocalyptic guy. I love like apocalyptic games, stories. Big Walking Dead fan, Last of Us, shit like that. This game just has
that explains it.
That explains what. Explains
what. That you talk about it every episode, apparently.
Talk about what?
So either Walking Dead or Last of Us.
Oh yeah, that's true. It does get. Wait, listen, I'm not completely responsible for the Last of Us talk. Okay, wait, it takes two. No. It takes two to tango on this show.
You just brought it up by yourself.
Okay, I have.
I'll agree.
I have.
No, I agree. It's
I did.
When it comes to the Last of Us, I take the left ball, then gets the right one, and we're sucking off.
Please. Jesus Christ, why'd you say that? Anyway, so besides being a meme of in itself, I like apocalyptic stuff. So they're right up my alley. Whatever, call me a dude, bro. You got guns, it's the apocalypse, you're fighting monsters. I like it. It looks awesome. I'm gonna play it day one. So and it's and day one on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, play day one. So why wouldn't you try it? Why wouldn't you play it if you're just not into it? That's fine, that's fair, but it looks cool. It looks beautiful. It looks super clean. And honestly, I don't know if you guys have seen screenshots or gameplay of it. The visuals look amazing. I mean, this is when I think of current gen / next gen visuals. This is what I'm talking about. When it comes to the physics, when it comes to the way the gun sounds, I just think this is what I want from my games. Like, it's okay to have artistic style. There's nothing wrong with that. I think, honestly, those deserve a place. But I think also, too, if you really want to push the hardware, I really like what this game is doing. And it's one of my most anticipated games for the back half of the year. Will I be able to play it? That's a whole other thing because I just don't know if I'm going to have the fucking time. But I'm definitely going to try. But Stalker 2 looks awesome. So that's all I got for you. I don't know if you guys got anything to add. That's fine if you don't. But that's one I'm looking forward to.
Well,
I mean,
one.
Oh, go
ahead. No, you ahead. I feel like you have something more smart to say than me.
I mean, not really. Like I've seen it. I've had a little experience with the previous Stalker games. They're not really my cup of tea. So I don't have too much to say. It does look good. It looks, more of like what the franchise is, known for, and I'm happy for those fans finally getting a sequel to a game after all this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not really on my radar too much. So yeah, that's about it though.
Are we talking about S dot, T dot, A dot, L dot?
Yeah.
Okay. I just gotta make. I do remember a game like that existing. Me as a little child on the internet. Hearing about that game. That's what I know about that game. I also know there's a movie called Stalker, but by a Russian director, which might have something to do with it.
It could be. I've never seen it, but it could be actually.
Yes, it's a very depressing movie. I don't.
Yeah, well, it's got that type of vibe to it. The only thing I will say, and again, if you guys haven't watched much of the gameplay, we can kind of move on. But the only thing I will say is I think the voice acting could be a bit better. Some of the voice acting that I've heard in the trailer didn't sound great, but other than that,
Where is it set?
where's it set?
Yeah, where is it set?
Well,
Where
it's
is
it's
it
it's
set?
in it's in that I believe it is Russia. I'm not sure exactly where, but I know it's in
But
that
like
area.
Eastern Europe.
Yeah, it's more or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So they have like the heavy accents. Like
well,
in
it's not even
Metro.
that. It just sounds weird. It's not even the accent. It sounds like they're phoning it in. It kind of just sounds like hey, let's go here kind of thing. Especially, oh my god, let's go here, let's go now. Like it's none of
So
that.
they're like they got people on the streets like, hey, could you read these lines for me?
Yeah, it's
I
not
just
like
recorded that.
like you'll have like some of those old NPCs in games who are like coming up to you, the player, and they're like, "Help! My family's in a fire." That's kind of what it
You can
sounds
say
like.
Oblivion, they'll
Like
okay.
instead of what'd you say? What game?
Oblivion.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
any Elder Scroll.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
true. That's
any
true.
but any Bethesda game like that, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna expect that dull voice and emotionless face when they're freaking out about their dead family. Russ, what's your next one, man?
Oh gosh, I forgot I was next. Oh.
You said something's coming out this month?
Yeah, I guess I'll just throw that in just to be quick. I don't really have too much to say about it, but Flintlock was one that was shown at the Xbox conference. That's coming out the 18th, I believe. Again, another action, maybe RPG. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say Souls-like. I'm not gonna say it, but but that one, the trailer was just really really hyped for that. And it got me excited to try it out. And a lot of other people are kind of saying similar things about it. And it's on Game Pass, so it's free to try out. So I was like, sure. I haven't really looked forward to much in the like past couple months so far. So like that's something I could at least spend some time on. And if I like it, cool, I'll keep playing it. If not, I'll move on.
Does that drop that? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Does that drop this month? Is that this month or is it?
Yes.
Oh hell
this
yeah,
month.
that's awesome. I won't have time to play that either, but awesome.
Well, depending on how your family works out, you might not.
Yeah, that's true. While I cry in a corner.
All right, imagine that. Imagine your daughter is born. You're crying because you can't play Flintlock. We are talking about Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn, right? I'm just asking this question because
yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay. I have like a fun tidbit. I'm looking at the Steam page here, and here they're calling it a Souls-like with a T, not a K.
Yeah, I remember hearing. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
What does it mean?
I have no idea, but
I'm assuming, is that what we've been calling Souls adjacent?
I guess you could. I guess maybe. I feel like we won't really know until we see it and know what it plays like.
What I hope is it Souls like Jedi Fallen Order, or is it more like Elden Ring?
That's how I read that.
If it's more like Fallen Order, I'll definitely enjoy. I'll probably at least enjoy the combat.
Because, like I say, the trailers makes it seem more like heavy, fast-paced action, like a Jedi. Now that just could be how the trailers cut together, because she is blasting people like nonstop in this trailer.
With like Flintlocks or
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that's the vibe it's giving, and that's kind of what drew me to it. It didn't seem like the typical Souls type experience, which I guess is why they call it Souls Light. But yeah, like I said, it's free, so why not give it a shot?
Pretty sure.
Well,
definitely
free,
Yeah,
free with a subscription.
Yeah, no, that is the good thing about Game Pass. I mean, you can say whatever you want. You can say it's I mean, because some people are making the argument that maybe, and that's a whole other topic, but like maybe Game Pass is like kind of messing with the modern gaming in a way, like because Game Pass is so cheap, it's almost like companies don't want to try as hard to really make these bigger budget games as opposed to more of the more indie style, more does that make sense?
I mean, to be honest, do we really need them to do that all the time? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
We have enough of it this year and then next year.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
have an Xbox, and I don't have a problem with Xbox Game Pass. I think shit's mad litty.
Good. No, I agree with that. No, it looks good. I'm definitely I might actually pre-download that now because it actually looks kind of sick if I'm being honest. Yeah, that was great. Any other thoughts on that? I don't really have much else to really give to it, so it looks good. I'll play it.
I mean, this is the first time I ever heard of it, so I'm, fish out of water.
Oh. Jan, what's your next one, man?
My next one is a bit of a guilty pleasure, but I do know that at least Dylan likes this too, or at least I think so. I might just be talking out of my ass, but I'm talking about Life is Strange Double Exposure. Life is Strange games.
Yeah.
My personal experience with the Life is Strange games is that I played the first one when I was 15, and I thought it was like the deepest thing ever. Like, oh my god, choices and time travel and about how you really cannot fight fate, because fate is gonna fight back. I thought it was great. It was so raw, right? Just showing how the spoilers.
You hear the
how
passion in this man's voice right now?
Dude, it's so much fun.
Dude,
I'm
this is
getting
me.
so hyped, dude.
This is me channeling my 15-year-old self. And then I played it again, just 1 year later, and I thought, okay, you know what? It's not that deep. But I still enjoy. I still enjoy the games. I liked Before the Storm. I liked most of 2. I enjoyed what's his face, the one True Colors. True Colors was cool. And I was honestly, I don't know, I think someone put a bug in my ear about how they're not gonna make Life is Strange games anymore, and it made me kind of sad because that's, as I said, it's my guilty pleasure. I understand they're not, it's not like high art or anything like that, but they are cool. I mean, I kind of like these kind of teen, young adult stories, as long as they're, with a bit of science fiction, and a bit of drama. I feel like it's kind of my comfort zone. Like either this or sitcoms. So I choose this any day of the week. So I'm glad they're making more of them. I don't know what it's about. I know Max is coming back, but that's about it. What about you guys?
Russ, would you like to take this one?
Yeah. So I haven't played any of them.
Oh damn.
I mean, I'm not saying that to like take away from them because from what I've heard, they're like really, really good stories and really good games. I typically just don't get into like I hate to say point and click because they're not really that, but that's kind of like,
they're spiritual successors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really get into that those types of games. But I do find the ones that I've kind of like I've watched like a couple of playthroughs of some of them, and I do find their stories really good. And like I said, I have heard that the last few games have been like really, really good. So I really don't have any doubt about this one being, good. I still don't think I'll try it just because it's not the highest on my list. But like I said, that's not really to take away from like the game's quality or anything like that. Honestly, the fact that you can put that much story and emotion and passion into a game with like kind of I hate to say minimal gameplay, right? But it's a different type and still come out like as one of the greatest experiences in gaming. Like there's something to be said about that.
I don't know. I mean, there's a reason why they're so popular.
Exactly.
Telltale kind of make a man of themselves with these kinds of games.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'm right there with Jan. I think I'm in the same way. Like I'm not over the hill excited, right? Like I'm more excited for like Assassin's Creed Shadows than I would be Life is Strange. But just go off what Jan was saying. I think they do such a great job. What I felt, especially with the first one, all the other ones have not been as good. They're still okay.
I agree. Yeah, hard agree. First one was king. Yeah.
When I played that first one, it kind of. It's gonna sound corny. It kind of made me feel like I am a young person, but it made me feel like back in high school again. Even though you're playing as a girl and girls go through their own experiences, you know, and everything. She's at the end of the day, she's still a teenager, right? And we've all been there, and we've all been through these emotions and trying to fit into certain groups and cliques in school, and then also just trying to find your place because you know you're going to be an adult soon, but you're not quite there yet. And I think the first one does a really good job with that. And also, I think they do such a great job of mixing the supernatural with real life things, right? They tackle suicide in this, and you know, and all kinds of harassment and things like that, things that people deal with, and but stuff I haven't personally dealt with, but things like that that are real world problems. I think that's why I like shows like 13 Reasons Why, especially the first season. I don't know if you guys have seen that or heard about
Only
it.
the first
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Really.
So I watched it. I had a girlfriend at the time who was into it. We watched together, and I believe it or not, I actually really liked the first season. I thought it was really good the way she told the story, what happened. I liked the tapes, and I think being able to show like that kind of that more vulnerable, the darker side of things that we don't normally see. I think that Life is Strange does a good job with that and adding the supernatural element. So I'm looking forward to it. The only thing I will say is I think that these games, and Jan, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on this. I would prefer it if each game focused on a different situation. And up until this point, they had done that. But now they're bringing back Max. We know that Max is out there, right? And I think in Life is Strange 2, we know Max is still out there. But now that we're focusing on her again, I would prefer if it was a different situation, like a different part of the world, just somewhere, just some other story, make its own thing. And this isn't doing that, but I'm happy to see Max back. Honestly, it's not like she's a Nathan Drake type character or anything like that.
Not.
But it's good to see her back, though. You know what I mean? I will say that because it gave me memories of the first game. But that's all.
Yeah, it was a weird feeling seeing her back. You know, it's like seeing that one friend from high school, which, you know, you were not like besties or anything,
Yeah.
but she like talked to them every day. But as soon as you were out of high school, you like never made contact with them ever again. Then 5 years later, you're just gonna meet them again. That's how it felt. You know, it's like kind of that was the same sensation when I saw her. And I haven't thought about that honestly, because you know what? I'll tell you. Yes, I always like more the Doctor Who approach, where you always have like different characters, you know, similar scenarios and themes, but different characters, different situations. I like that more. But TBH honest, I didn't love too much the characters from Life is Strange 2. Before the Storm was kind of lacking, IMO opinion. So, maybe it's good that they dial it back a little bit. I mean, they pedal back, they go back to the roots. Maybe they'll find what made the first one so special back there. I don't know. Maybe it's like a desperate attempt. But I guess we'll see. As I said, I'm not like too excited about that. I'm not like putting it on a pedestal. I'm not like super hyped. I just know that I'll definitely play it, and I'm decently certain that I will have a decent time with it.
Same way. Russ, hopefully you'll get the first one to try when you get a chance, because it is decent, but it's
just so sweet. Yeah,
it's not for everybody also, and honestly, it may look a little maybe it looks. A little
I mean,
grown,
if I ever got into it, I'd probably cry, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
they say that kind of game.
Yeah, it does. It does have a lot of good moments, man. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, for sure. One for me is Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. I'm just kidding.
Oh god, that is coming out, bro. I forgot that was coming out, dude.
It is dropping. That is real. It's coming out September 25th.
I missed that one. I didn't know that was a thing.
I'm adding that to the list.
Are you?
Come on.
Hey, whatever. Hey, listen, it's fine. It's cool. I remember seeing that growing up on the 360 and stuff. So it's cool. Is it a remake or is it? Well, I mean, what is it? It says
it's a
Repop,
remaster.
so I'm assuming.
It's a remaster. They're not remaking this game.
No, that's not my next one. My next one is Silent Hill 2. And I know Jan and I have talked about this a few times, and I'm trying to be I'm trying to be optimistic about it because I love these types of games. Jan knows this. I have to say this. I feel special in knowing that I got Jan into the Resident Evil series, right?
100%.
I talked about it. He started playing it, and now he's played through damn near all of them at this point. He's only missing
I'm only missing Village.
Yeah. So Silent Hill gives me that same vibe, even though I feel like the story is going to be way more serious and more more of a psychological thriller, right?
It's more character focused compared to Resident Evil, I'd say.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it for that. Again, you go back to atmosphere. It's got a very haunting. The music in it. I don't know how much they mess with the music, but the music is great. I mean,
it's the same composer tinkering with it, so I have high hopes.
The gameplay needs some work. It needs some real fucking work. It looks bad. It does look bad in that, but it can't be as bad as Alone in the Dark. Have you guys played that Alone in the Dark with David Harbour?
No.
And
I have. I have it. I pre-ordered it because I thought we were gonna talk about it in the cast, and it never happened.
Yeah, but I'm glad it didn't. Here we go. Here's the review. It sucks. That's it. That's all you need to know. I mean, it might not be terrible, but the gameplay is trash. It's really bad. And so this is gave me kind of that same vibe. But I think it has all the right pieces for it to be a great game, just with everything else and the haunting nature of Silent Hill. Because Silent Hill is just it's just that crazy shit that that you can expect from it. So what do you guys think about it? Either one.
Yeah, I'll let our guest take the.
I mean, it's gonna be short. I think this is gonna be short. So, like I said,
short and sweet. That works.
Yeah, I'm not a horror fan at all. I am pretty much a bitch when it comes to this types of stuff. So I do not pay. Okay. I always tell people this. All right. Does being scared feel good? And if it does to you, then something's wrong. But if it usually it doesn't. So why would I pay to do that? Why would I pay to feel bad?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, that's kind of a deeper psychological question.
That's how I feel with Souls games, bro. That's how I feel about Souls games, man. I was like, why would I pay to just torture?
Yeah, there's a credence to that too. But in all seriousness, I'm just not into the horror genre like that. So this will be one that passes me by. I'm curious as to why does the gameplay look kind of bad to you? Because seeing the changes from the original one, I'm like, it seems like definitely an upgrade. Now I know we're comparing that is different from comparing what the remake is to modern games now. But I can't say I've looked too much into it, so I don't know. But from what I've seen, it seems like they're doing a decent job at recreating it to modern standards, at least. But yeah, that's that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I'm out of this one.
No, that's good. Dylan, do you want to answer his question? What does the gameplay look bad?
So I was actually I'll tell you why I think it looks bad, and then y'all can give a little bit more clarification because he played the original. Matter of fact, in our episode 50, don't you have you had Silent Hill 2 on the PS2, right?
And a very nice edition. Yeah. Very, very proud of that one.
Look, so coming off of, and this might be a little bit of recency bias too, because I mean, Jan's game of the year for 2023 was Resident Evil 4, and coming from a game like that with gameplay as tight as that, it just, and it's the standard we've created for ourselves. I said the same thing with Alan Wake 2, right? Alan Wake 2 gameplay is honestly not terrible. It's just we've gotten so used to how finessed these third-person shooters can be. And so I kind of get the same thing from Silent Hill 2. There's a part where you're walking up a set of stairs and there's an enemy and you shoot the enemy. It looks like there's no feedback. It looks like the sound effects are really toned down, which could have been just for the trailer. It could have been just for that. But it just looks stiff to me. It doesn't look as fluid. And I don't expect, and I'm sorry, Jan, I don't know the main character's name. I'm not expecting a Leon Kennedy.
James.
Right. I'm not expecting a Leon Kennedy from this guy. But I mean, this dude just seems like he's just stiff. He looks like he doesn't even want to. Well, I mean, who would want to be there?
well, you know what? Well, that's kind of hitting the nail on the head because he's supposed to be like an everyday guy who's just not he's not like a super cop like Resident Evil. He just really does not like being here.
Yeah, and I think I remember hearing that criticism somewhere about it looking stiff. About the gameplay looking stiff
because it does.
No, it really does. I mean, there you go. But part of me is maybe I was like, is it not supposed to be that way? I mean, I don't know. But part of me is maybe that's the way it's designed too.
Well, okay. So here it is. So there's one thing is making the character be not as agile. As you said, I don't want it to be Resident Evil 4. I don't want to roundhouse kick zombies. That's not. That's right. That's not Silent Hill. The problem, you can still make awkward characters, like characters are not as how should I say it, is they're not as able, but still make the animation itself look very pleasant, right? And these ones, they do not. The feedback is a word Dylan used, and I think that's really that's the key. There's this one other scene in another trailer, and there are some trailers that are really like in depth, like they're gameplay showcases. So you can't even use the excuse of like, oh, maybe it just looks back like in that shot in the trailer. No, it's really not. They actually try to show you how the game plays, and it's not fantastic. There's a part when you're wielding like an axe or a club, and you're hitting an enemy, and it looks like a Flash game. Honestly, it looks like something someone made with like Adobe. What am I saying? With Unity is what I want to say. Someone made with Unity on like a, I don't know, like a minimum, I don't know, like on like a student's salary or something like that. It really doesn't. The impact looks first delayed, and it's also choppy. Like it hits him first, and then there's the recovery animation.
Okay.
There's like another animation where which it just looks silly. The enemy's like grabbing you or something. You can't really tell what's happening, and the James is pushing him off, but it looks very like you don't understand where the pressure is coming from, right? It just doesn't make sense visually, and you have like this huge button, this huge quick time and going press X X X X X X X X X as this guy does that.
Yeah.
It does not. It
Yeah.
does not stand up. It does not stand up
Yeah.
to the quality standards.
Yeah.
Honestly, and like again, it doesn't need to be. I do not expect it to be Resident Evil, even Resident Evil 2, with this more limited moveset. I really don't. I think at Capcom, what they did with the RE engine back in like what was it, 2019, insane. I'm not expecting that. I don't even want that particularly. I just want something that shows respect to the original, right? I don't need it to be. I'm glad that it's different. A lot of people, don't like how they trying to modernize the gameplay. You know what? No, I can play the original if I want to play something like the original. I just hope that it plays decently. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe by the time the game comes out,
Yeah,
it will play decently. There are more problems, honestly, with this remake. There's I said this already on a previous episode, but Bloober team, the development team that's working on this game, they made some horror games that tackle similar themes as Silent Hill, like psychological horror, trauma, the way it affects us, finding your inner demons, that kind of stuff. And their storytelling was not optimal. Sometimes it's even insensitive in some of their games. Like it's so bad that it shows such a lack of understanding of its material that it's this is jarring. And so when people found out that these guys are handling Silent Hill, like the epitome of psychological horror game, they're like, who made this? Who made the call? Like who decided this?
Yeah.
So there's that. There's a lot of okay, and then there's nitpicking. Some of these things people are talking about are just nitpicks. Like, oh, I don't like how the main character's face looks because it doesn't look like a PS2 CGI model. It looked. They're like, oh, it doesn't have that. What was its face? Uncanny Valley. It doesn't have the same effect. Like come on, guys. a lot of guys do their thing, right? I don't mind. I think most of the characters looks fine. Honestly.
Dang, you did research on that one. Wow.
I do it. It's Silent Hill 2. You don't understand. That's like,
dude, this is his game. This is his game.
Yeah,
I see that now. All right.
I feel like honestly, I've said it before on the show. I honestly, if this game ends up being really bad, like I'm honestly like I feel bad for Jan because this is his this is his for me for Red Dead 2. Like Red Dead 2. This is I've said this for Persona. When Persona was out, I'm disappointed Persona 3 didn't live up to your expectations because it's like, damn, these are your games, man. I want, even if I'm not into it, I want them to be good for you, man. You're waiting for these damn games. I want them to be good. I know they're not gonna be perfect. So Silent Hill 2, I want it to be good because I just love survival horror. I love that genre. So it just doesn't look modern to me. I think that's my biggest complaint. It just doesn't look modern. If it came out on PS3, you'd probably get away with it. But come on, man. It's
Maybe,
PS5, dude. Where's the fluid movement? I need better movement. I don't need a roundhouse kick anybody. Just make it smooth. Resident Evil 2,
honestly,
you're not doing that. Resident Evil 2 did it perfectly, and you got
it
a
looks
very
great.
limited.
Resident Evil looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, honestly, when we're talking about like fluid movement, even our Resident Evil 4, the original, way back on the GameCube and PS2, those animations look more fluid than the Silent Hill 2 remake.
It does. It does actually. Yeah, I played that recently. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. But yeah, so that thing, that's one I'm looking forward to. Russ, you got any? You got another one? I know we're kind of, the list is getting narrow here, unless there's just something else that's popping out at you.
So I guess the last biggest one that I'm looking forward to, and then speaking of games that we want to be good, I recognize I may be completely alone on this one, but Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Oh.
This has been a game that me and the rest of the Dragon Ball gaming community has waited, I don't know how decades for. This game is showing all the signs of being what we've all wanted for forever. And it's funny because I was just telling Dylan that I went back home before like today, and all my old PS2 collection is at my parents' house, right? And I was looking at it and I was like, I had the original Dragon Ball Budokai 2 and 3, and then the Budokai Tenkaichi 1 through 3 in that collection. And I was just reminiscing a lot. And so the fact that this game is, one, happening, two, is two, looking really great, and it's just it's just real, like, honestly, I don't have the words to describe, how ready for this game me and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are, because they are literally bringing the PS2 game to the modern day. Like, everything in it, if you've played the old games, you can recognize like everything that they're doing in it to a T. Of course, the graphics of course look amazing. Like, it looks like the anime to varying degrees. But yeah, and I know anime games get like a bad rap because they're all arena fighters, for the most part, and they all are pretty terrible outside of like maybe the Naruto games. But this is the one that kind of started that trend, if we're being honest. And the king is coming back, and seems like it's about to take the crown again. So
that's exciting. I heard the buzz. Like, I'm nowhere near the Dragon Ball community, and I hear the buzz from here. Mm-hmm. So and I know that. That's about all I know about Dragon Ball. However, I have a question for you now that you talk about it. So I kind of want to get into Dragon Ball, mostly because I feel like as a weeb, I kind of, I have that. I need. Right. I owe it to Dragon Ball, right? So this game, Sparking Zero, is it a retelling of the show, or how does it work?
So from what it seems, the story mode will be a retelling, but also like there are points where you can like make alternate decisions opposed to the story, how the story went. So it may not be like a direct 1-to-1 depending on how you play it. But for the most part, yes, it will be I guess like a very Cliff Notes version of the Dragon Ball Z story, and I guess the Dragon Ball Super story. They're from what it seems like, OG Dragon Ball is not going to be in it, at least at launch. And GT isn't going to be in it either. But yeah, at least
GT, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. But Z and Super are definitely the selling points for this game.
Awesome. So follow-up question: should I like watch the show or read the manga before I get into this? Better off. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. If I want to get into Dragon Ball, what's the best starting point? I know this is like a tangent, but
Okay, so So me personally, when I got into Dragon Ball like years ago, I personally got into it from the games. I had never seen the show before, never read the manga. I personally got my introduction through the games, and the games gave you a pretty good, summary of the story as you played through them. So that is a
Okay.
possibility. But if you want, the actual, you know, I guess
Experience.
emotional. Yeah, then the anime or the manga is the best way to go about it. Now it
Right.
depends on if you want to read or watch stuff. That's kind of up to you.
Okay, no. I mean, I think I already knew the answer. Just
Yeah,
needed to hear it from somebody.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll have to read it. Yeah,
Right.
because I'm not watching like all those hundreds of episodes. I've gotten to a point where I just cannot watch long TV shows anymore.
yeah. I mean, and even at that, like there's Kai, so like that's more of the anime version that's close to the manga. So like they cut all the filler stuff out of that.
I like a brotherhood kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So
I get it.
there's that. If
Dylan
you,
doesn't know anything what we're talking about.
hey, that's why I was like, I'm okay with being alone on this. That's why I held it for this point.
And hey, real quick though, it's always looked really cool to me, but I'm like with Jan, it's just so much to follow. I'm the same way. Long series, I can't do it either. But anyway, continue.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. But no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, if you want to watch the anime, I'd say Kai is the version to watch because it's the most truncated and makes the most sense without being like having the filler boring stuff in
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But
Right,
the
right.
manga is always the faster one, and it's the most what he actually wrote.
Right. Yeah, I think I'll go with that one. But cool.
Good deal. Good deal.
Good deal.
I can't really get much on
No,
that.
I'm glad you brought it up. I really am.
I'll be waiting for your review, Russ, on when it drops. I will check it out.
Oh yeah, I definitely plan on playing that like a lot. Like I know it's around like a lot of big games, but they might. I mean, considering that it's really just a fighting game, so there's not too much that you have to like really go into to like get the gist of it. It probably won't take me that long to like get the gist of it and have something to say about it. But yeah, that's definitely like one of the ones where it's just okay, everything is stopping. and even when we back when y'all were showing off y'all's collections and whatnot, I haven't been buying physical copies of games for a while, but that's one where I'm like, I feel like I have to keep up with the tradition with that one. So that's one where like, yeah, that physical copy looking pretty nice, and that collector's edition looking pretty nice too. But the money's kind of not there, so we're just not gonna do that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but even the standard one, you put it in a glass case, put it on a pedestal.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's a shame, man. It's gotten so much easier just to get your games digitally now. It's really
We're
hard.
part of the problem. Yeah.
I know, man. I am part of the problem. I am.
Yeah.
It's so much easier. I don't have to leave my house. I can just go in and buy it, and it's ready to go. Like that's it. But yeah, so yeah, definitely. I mean, I know it's I was trying to get in the habit of trying to get more of like special editions and things like that, but I think I'm gonna calm down off that because it gets expensive. It gets so expensive. So like I had this impulse buy like one of the things Jan showed on that episode was Persona 3, your big collector's edition. I'm not even into Persona like that. And I saw it brand new, like I forgot, maybe even like a local GameStop or something. And I was like, and it was actually discounted for like $30. And I don't know why in my head I'm like, I gotta have it. And I'm like, why do I need to have it? That's so stupid. It's just I'm never going to ever play it. It's just gonna sit there. Never. So
yeah, you shouldn't have bought it. I mean, that's kind of that's like marketing for you, right? That's the marketing world. You don't want to fall victim to its fangs.
That's too late for that. Is there any? I don't want to rush away from Dragon Ball. Is there anything else we were talking about there? I don't even know where we left off with that.
And yeah, I think that was it.
I can just say that I might play it.
Yeah, I mean,
after I read the whole manga, of course. Dragon Ball Z GT Super the works.
Well,
I gotta admit.
GT doesn't have a manga. GT is just an anime.
Oh, okay, that's why everybody hates it then. And then
other reasons, but we'll leave that for another time.
Okay.
Jan, do you have another one you were looking forward to? The list is getting kind of narrow for me, but it might be something else.
I have just one that I can remember, and that's the Astropod game. And not much
Oh
to say.
yeah,
Cute little platformer. I liked Astro's Playroom. This is Astro's Playroom, but just more of it. And I'm fine with having that. That's it. That's a tweet.
I remember people have been asking for this for so long, and I was like, kind of, well, when it finally came out, I was surprised how many people have actually been asking for it, because I don't remember that many people clamoring about Playroom initially. But when they showed that trailer, that seemed like more of a full game than most full games nowadays look like.
Yeah.
From like a lot of big studios. It's kind of crazy.
No shit, yeah.
And it felt like kind of like a throwback to like the older PS1, PS2 platformers and whatnot. And it's all the crazy stuff that's in those games. And yeah, that looked really, really good to me.
It just looks fun, honestly. It just looks fun to play.
Yeah.
No,
and we're missing platformers. We're like, in a dire need for platformers. Yeah.
So they can piss me off some more. I'm a big Crash Bandicoot guy. And I'm telling you, man, I've wanted to just like punch myself in the dick so many times trying to go back and play those games. I'd rather do that than play the game sometimes. I mean, but yeah, I think it does look very creative though. I will give it that. I'm personally not. I'm not playing it.
Yeah,
I mean,
fine,
I tried. Actually just recently. I downloaded Playroom again because that's right when they announced this. I was like, that was kind of cool. Being able to that's like the one game where you can feel all the haptics in the DualSense controller, and I'm like, it's like I'm just whatever. I like that. I like the haptics. One of my favorite part of the DualSense controller, and so I downloaded it. It was fun for like an hour, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, and I just cut it off and never played it again. It's not a bad game, just not for me, but I definitely see the creativity, a lot of creativity there. I do. I will say that level design's awesome, and the Astro's Playroom's the same way. Like going to these different biomes, like in the PS5 and each setting.
Yeah, and they're all.
That was cool, man. It was cool. It's just not for me. I mean, I'm about to have a daughter soon. Maybe she'll be into those types of that kind of game when she's able to play some stuff. Let's see what else we got. I don't even know. I mean, there's a couple honorable mentions that I wouldn't mind at least trying, especially if they come on Game Pass, like for this year. So I'm not a big Call of Duty guy at all. Black Ops 6 looks decent. I'll check it out. I mean, it's on Game Pass.
Guys, I'm sorry, like I don't want to interrupt, but I have like a huge question for you guys. So I recently, like I don't know when, like a month or whenever, like Black Ops 6 was announced, I started getting trailers on YouTube ads, right? And the first thing that I was thinking about is, where the hell is Black Ops 5? Did that ever come out?
So yeah, it was Black Ops Cold War is the one beforehand.
Oh, okay. Because I honestly thought that, like, what is going on?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4 Cold War and then 6.
That's a good point. I don't know why I never thought about that.
I thought it was tripping. I thought I was having a heart attack or something. What?
The only reason I know that is because as I was recording the video, I was about to make a joke saying how you skip 5, and I was like, let me be sure. And there you go. It was actually actually made one.
Yeah, I think
pretty trash, right? Like you want to forget one. I never play Call of Duty. I'm asking.
I don't know, but people that play Call of Duty complain about every single one, so I don't know.
And they keep buying them.
But they buy them, yeah. They buy it every year. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I've like I don't know how big it was for you over there, Jan. When I was growing up, Call of Duty was like, was it
insane?
It was huge. That was what everybody was playing.
MLG trick shots everywhere. The compilation. But my hope will never die. And just compilations of the
like 20
early
2010 YouTube.
Yeah, man. There's good memories, but yeah, I mean, like it's I don't know, like it does look like they are trying to change some things, but at the end of the day, it is your same game. But it looks decent. It's on Game Pass for free, like Russ was talking about earlier. I might as well at least give it a shot. The only thing is you need like 300 gigs of space on your Xbox to download it on your PC. So it's like you got to delete almost every damn
It's to get the
game.
textures of every single bullet you fire.
Yeah.
So anyway, so there's that. Let's see. Is there any other honorable mentions for 24? Because I know Russ had talked about maybe talking about some things in 25 we're looking forward to. But is there any honorable mentions you guys know about for this year?
I think
Let me think.
to be honest, I'm trying to see what's on this list that I can remember that's coming out this year.
There's the Dragon Quest 3 remake.
Oh yeah.
Looks dope.
The HD 2D remake.
HD 2D. Dumb as, like that's why I didn't even mention that because dumb as hell, just call it remake. But you know what? I only played 11. And that's because it's the only one that's available on modern platforms aside from spin-offs.
Mm.
So yeah, and I'm itching for more. So I wish they do like a Final Fantasy and they just port all of them. But so there's that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as really your main consoles and PC, I don't see much really. I mean, I don't play any Switch games. Russ, do you play any Switch games?
I don't. I wish I did more. But to be honest, most of the games that come out on Switch come out on other stuff. And like the Nintendo exclusive stuff, I just honestly haven't gotten around to. So that's really my main thing. Like the last Nintendo game that I played was Pokemon.
Which one?
Scarlet. Yeah, the latest one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna say like Black or something like that. Or
and like there were, like I said, there have been other ones I've wanted to try, like Super Mario RPG remake that came out. I wanted to play that. Paper Mario, I wanted to play that. Even the new Mario and Luigi, I would like to play that, but I doubt I'm gonna ever get to it.
Too many games.
Yeah.
Too many games. It's way too many. And I mean, like I said too, like the Switch, I do like the versatility of the Switch, but it comes down to performance at the end of the day, man. Like, but it's the thing too, like I mean, y'all were talking about this last episode, like how much does performance mean to you if you're mostly a console player? Like right now, like when I was playing Rebirth, I'm actually playing that on fidelity mode. I'm not even playing that on performance because it looks so bad in performance.
The right choice, yes.
I can't even. It's so jarring to to me. Jan, I know you played it mostly in performance, didn't you, Jan? For Rebirth?
Yeah. I mean, when you play on like high, with the most difficult encounters, you kind of need a higher frame rate. I mean, at least I perform better on that.
Yeah.
So
it's jarring, man. I had to switch back, and it's weird because usually that's not what I would do. But I'm like, man, it just looks so bad. Like I can't even do it.
Yeah, same. Like I mentioned that in my video that I made. Like the blurriness of the performance mode is just so terrible, and like especially in like the high foliage areas, like it's ridiculous.
And the particle effects are showing. It's
yeah. So it was, and like I said, I can get used to 30 frames. It's not a problem. So for me, that was just a better experience because
especially a game like that too. Like Jan was saying. I mean, maybe if you got a whole lot of stuff going on, it maybe the 30 can dip a little bit, but all in all, I mean, you got to play at 30. Excuse me.
Especially first time through. Second time through, I was planning on doing performance just to see how that was, but I never got to the second playthrough, so it's fine.
So I guess we can transition to the back end of the show. We talk about and we don't have to go into full detail, but what are some things that you guys are looking forward to for 2025? I have a few, but if you guys are not, you guys are. I know Russ dabbles in PC. I know Jan is mostly PS5. So it's like a lot of the games I'm looking forward to are on Xbox or PC. Like I do not have that many places because it's not really. It's like I don't know really. I don't want to start a conversation and I feel like I'm the only one like yapping. So I don't want to keep doing that. No, you guys. So why don't you guys go ahead and start, and then I'll throw in a couple that I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess. So I do have a couple, I guess, PC, Xbox ones here. I think the biggest one for me is definitely Doom: The Dark Ages. Um,
Yeah.
I am, like I said, Doom probably is my favorite game of all time.
Oh,
Like the
that's a
OG,
statement.
yeah, the OG 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Those are probably my favorite games of all time. And I've dabbled in and out of the series, throughout the years. Um, and I loved 2016. Eternal, I wasn't really, it didn't really appeal to me that much. But this one looks pretty cool, so looking forward to checking this one out when it comes out. Yeah, so
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool, man. They make me sick though. I get really sick when I play them.
yes, especially the newer ones. I've definitely had to adjust.
Yeah, it just feels like you're on a roller coaster. It just feels like you're just doing this shit the entire time. But I mean, dude, I'm a gore nut. I love the gore. I like the way the weapons feel. I love, and again, it comes down to like just the environment. It just looks so morbid and bleak, and I eat it up, dude. I love it. And with this one, I like you got like a shield, which is
Right.
even
Yep.
even more badass. You have a shield, and you got the shotgun in the other hand. Oh, it's awesome. I'm right there with you. What's another one you got? And then we'll see what Jan's got.
Then another one I got. Okay, so I don't know if y'all saw this if y'all even watched the Xbox thing, but Expedition 33.
Dude,
Oh yeah, that looks interesting.
Yeah, this
dude.
one. Okay, I low key, I really thought this was an action game when they were like showing it off because it just the way the character was walking in the camera shot, it looked like it was going to be some type of action game, like a God of War type deal or something like
Yeah.
that. And then they line up and then they start having action commands. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And yeah, it looked. I'm a turn-based dude. Like I love those types of games, despite how little I get to play of them.
Mhm.
But I love those types of
Dude,
games. And
it
this
looks
one
it looks awesome.
it looks
It looks amazing.
freaking amazing. Like it doesn't, and
Alright.
like most of them kind of, most of the time those types of games are like very either anime or cartoony or stuff like that. It's rare that you get like, this is like I guess like high fantasy type,
Mhm.
but like realistic in a way. So it's where you get that type of aesthetic with these types of games, and that's another thing that kind of drew me towards it.
Yeah, and you also gotta like
Uh,
that they got all Clive Rossfield from Final Fantasy 16. He's in the
oh, they
game,
do.
so that's pretty
We
sick,
got a
dude.
fanboy.
I'm a Final Fantasy 6 dude. I fucking love 16. You know what? I don't care. I'll shout it from the fucking heaven, bro. I like 16 a lot. I love the music. I listen to the soundtrack almost every day. I love that game. I have grown to love that game so much that I think Rebirth is like levels below it. And that's right. I said it. I said it. Maybe
I
not
mean,
maybe not the combat. Maybe not the combat because I do like the combat in Rebirth way better. But I think everything else, I just like the darker tone. You've heard me talk about this before. I just love Clive. I love all that shit. I love the medieval
I
setting.
have a lot of you could just anger it like everybody over the age of 35.
It's I mean, dude, it just has a different feel, man. Like I've told Jan this, he's heard the spiel. I just like the feel of 16 better. It just feels more like it has that Final Fantasy like flair to it, but then it just has that just adult feeling. And maybe you shouldn't have that in a Final Fantasy game, right? I mean, we
no,
are
fuck
playing
that, dude.
we're playing video games at the end of the day, so, right? So you could look at this as childish behavior if you wanted to, right? So as far as like the guy like it's got to be mature, it's got to have blood, like whatever. I just like that feeling though. It just has more of that adult themes that I really like, and that's what's killing me in Rebirth when I'm seeing Kate Sith. Like I just can't. I'm just not
Hey,
into that.
you.
Yeah. I just can't get into it. I just
Again, the
that's
entire scene, the fortune telling scene. Have you got to that part?
yeah. I've
Not
gotten to it.
really.
Yeah, dude. It's anyway. All right. What's
You will
another
lose something
what,
important. Okay, time's
dude?
been closed.
Dude, it's garbage. All right, Russ, you got another one?
We're still on me. Okay.
Sure.
Let's see here. That might be it. As far as coming in the next year, yeah, I think that's probably it for me that I can see. Wuchong, which is another So it's like the Chinese one. That one, that one. Uh, where the winds meet, I think is another one.
Where do winds meet? I think I've heard of that.
If that's next year, I'm not sure if that's next year or not. But that was another one that looks pretty decent.
Okay.
They just showed like a cinematic trailer there.
Yes, of course. Yes.
That one looked really, really cool to me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's about it for me.
Checks out.
Jan, what you got, man? You got what are you? What are some? Let's do that. Like, if you have anywhere between 2 to 3 of them, what are some games you're looking forward to for next year?
Okay, I'll just before I say this, before I say anything, I'm just gonna check whether it's confirmed for next year.
Right,
just so that I don't make a fool of myself.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we don't want that.
Right? I mean, imagine that. You know what? I can't find any information out, so I'm just gonna risk it for the biscuit and say Judas.
Judas.
Oh right, yeah.
Dude,
Yep.
I'm all for
Come
it,
on.
man.
Come on.
I cannot wait for Judas. That's going to be a great game. I mean, well, hopefully it's going to be a great game. It looks awesome.
No, it's going to be a great game. No, there's
I don't know.
like.
Question.
Okay.
I liked BioShock Infinite. I know people find that kind of to be the worst one. Some people do. What about you guys?
I love
BioShock Infinite is the best one.
Okay, all right.
Cool. and the DLC is even better. Burial at Sea is one of the best pieces of fiction. Period. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
I
concur. I agree.
I think people are just disappointed from Infinite because it was one of those games that had trouble development. If you look at the first trailer and at the final product, they're very different.
Right.
Whatever. Just accept this fantastic game you got. And but when I was growing up, BioShock 2 was the worst one. No, Infinite is the worst one. Like, come on, dude.
Well, no, I'm not. I mean, just and it's been years since I heard that sentiment. But like, I remember when it came out, people. Yeah, 2 was the worst one for a while, and then people started to sour on Infinite after it came out, like a couple years after that. And I definitely played it like a couple years later. And from what I played, I found it very enjoyable. So I was just like, it was one of those things where it's like, it felt like one of those times where it's like, I like, a game in the series that is kind of like a black sheep in a way. But yeah. Yeah,
but you know what? I feel like when it comes to BioShock, it's one of those franchises where there's no one black sheep. I feel like that role just kind of changes throughout the years. Shin Megami Tensei had a similar thing. I feel like the newest game is the worst one. Then a newer one comes out, and that one becomes the worst one, and the one before becomes kind of reevaluated. They go like, you know what? Actually, on second thought, they kind of ate with this one.
It's like Star Wars,
pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. Like with the prequel trilogy, where like everyone was like, "Oh, it's so trash," and then you get the new trilogy, and it's like, "Oh, it's so like, great."
Actually, it was actually, you know what? It's actually really good. Like in comparison, but that's different. Like I think that the prequel trilogy is better in comparison because at least it has a soul, right, compared to the newer one. But
wow,
that's Star Wars shit.
Damn. So Judas is one of them. Like, we didn't even say anything about the game because there's nothing to say.
There's not much to say.
Successor to BioShock. That's all you need to go.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Exactly. Bro. So that's that one. And then there is, I had it written down here somewhere. Pragmata, which is another one that I have no idea what it's about.
I have no idea what this game is.
They keep delaying it. The only trailers, like the only updates we get about this game is little cute animation where the little girl holds a sign saying, "You're sorry."
And like, I'm sorry.
It again. But it looks very. Even if it's like a bad game, I think it's gonna be kind of a Death Stranding scenario. Like maybe it's not gonna be like super enjoyable game to play, but it's going to be different or an original. And I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah,
are
that
my 2 picks.
I
for
forgot about
2025.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
too. That's why I
that is
needed to
interesting.
watch them on the list.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
think
awesome.
sometimes the developers forget that they're working on that game. That's why they keep delaying it.
That makes
I
it
think they like sometimes they like wake up and they dream about it, so they like phone into like a friend, like, dude, are we like working on a game called Pragmata? Like, oh shit, dude, you're right. It's supposed to come out tomorrow. We better like tweet about it. No, it's not gonna.
Yeah, about that.
So I hate to break this to you guys. All the games you guys have mentioned are trash compared to
Let's hear it.
Kingdom
I
Hearts.
feel
Hold on.
I feel like I know where this is going.
Oh
but
my
anyway.
god!
Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. Dude,
Oh.
that game's gonna break records. That game
Oh,
is
I'm
going
sure.
to settle scores. That might be like
Alright.
the best Kingdom Hearts game in the entire.
All right, now for the
undoubtedly.
serious answer.
What I'm looking forward to Missing Link, man. I'm missing some links, bro.
No,
I gotta
you're
watch
not.
it. I might be
You're
listening. I
missing
might be
some
missing a
links.
few. I might missing a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Russ, if I'm going to say a game, what do you think? Because I think this guy thinks he knows me pretty well. What do you think?
I mean, I would imagine. Well, okay, partially because we don't know if it's coming out next year or not. But you've already said it. So E-Day would be one I would put on your list.
Yeah. E-Day is. Yep. I agree. I'm a little late to the Gears of War series. I've played them before, but I didn't really play them canonically all the way through. So I'm just looking forward to it because like I remember that old school like feeling when I played games. Like when I saw the trailer and I'm seeing Marcus getting thrown up on the roof and slammed on the floor and beaten up by a locust, I'm like, wow. Like, and I feel a single tear because I remember that feeling when I was a kid. So I know you guys had moments like that where you see a game, you're like, wow, remember it makes me think of when I was a kid. So that is what I'm looking forward to. Another one I'm looking forward to, and actually
how it was with Dragon Ball.
Russ had taken one of the ones I was looking forward to, which was what is it? It's not Immortals 33, is it? That one I was looking forward to. I love the way it looks. It kind of has like it's turn-based, but then it also has like moments where you can land like more of a significant attack like during the battle, and I just think everything looks great. But obviously my main one is I'm gonna be generic as shit. I don't care. GTA 6. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I have to mention that if it comes out. If it drops,
I forget about that game every single time.
Yeah, I have to bring it up, and we haven't seen any gameplay for it besides the leak footage that's come out like a year or so ago, which was obviously not even the extent of the entire game. We know what Rockstar is capable of. Rockstar is one of my favorite developers, even though they've screwed up, recently with the GTA trilogy repackaging and then the Red Dead Redemption 1 just repackaged or whatever. I still think I will argue about the Red Dead one though. It is 60 FPS on PS5 and it plays amazing. Has some pop in though. It does have that. But other than that, pretty great. But GTA 6, I think is going to be one of those games that's going to be real special. Is it going to be like the greatest thing ever made? I don't think so because everybody's expectations are super high for what that game can be. But I think it's going to be a lot of things. I think it's going to be good at a lot of things. Maybe not great at really anything in particular, if that makes sense. But I'm still looking forward to it in a sense that feeling of a Rockstar title. When you know these games are dropping, it's always that feeling, like that weight. And I'm excited for it. That's a day one. I'm taking off for a week to play it. So I don't know what you guys think, but I know Jan's not much into GTA.
You and half of the world population. But,
yeah. I know everybody's just not gonna come to work. Like, what the fuck happens?
But they better drop it on like a Sunday or something.
I think that's one I'll definitely play. Because I wasn't really. I'm still not a big GTA fan. I did play 5 is the only one that I've like owned and played. I've played a bit of like 3 and Vice City. But 5 was the only one that I actually like really got into. And it was fun. And I think everybody's hyped for 6 because of what GTA Online did more than what the actual GTA, single player story was. And I don't think people realize how long it took for online to get to where it is now, because online where it started, it was pretty bad. I don't want to say bad, but it was really, really bare bones.
Oh no, you can say it was bad. Like a lot of people complain about it. I remember.
And so I think they're expecting 6 to be where online is at now. And if it's a thing where they can like carry that over, okay, cool. But if it's something where it's like they're kind of maybe carry some things and have to like maybe start from another palette, then people probably need to temper their expectations a bit. But I don't know. But I feel like that's where all the hype is, more so than the actual like core game itself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what they've done a really good job, and I've talked about it before, so I don't have to go into it, but Rockstar does a good job of making you feel like it's a livable world. Like it's almost like when you cut the game off, you still feel like things are going on. People are still going about and doing their jobs. Like in Red Dead 2, you see people building a house, you cut the game off, and then the house is still being built. Like you can see them manually putting the nail in the wood. I love that shit. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to like, I'm not saying every game needs to be that way. But like I kind of get a little irritated when I'm playing a game and let's say there's a vase on a table and I have a gun and I shoot the vase and the vase doesn't move. I kind of got a little bit of a problem with that because I like physics. I like things like that. I think GTA 6 is going to be full of it, man. The only thing it sucks is it's guaranteed for sure 30 FPS on launch. There's no way this game runs at 60 on console. Maybe on PC, but I mean, Red Dead 2 is still it's still hard to run that at 60 on PC.
But unlike PC ports or Rockstar games, like absolute trash at launch too.
A lot of them are, yeah. A lot of them are. I mean, GTA 4 is still not that great, and look how long that game's been out. The game's been out since 2010, I believe, something like that. And I mean,
I think
it might be 2008.
2008.
It might be 2008. Yeah, it might be 2008.
Yeah.
No, I mean even worse, right? It's even older, and it's still like it runs okay, but it still doesn't look the greatest, and the performance is still rocky, even though the game's been out for a while. But yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I'm looking forward to.
Well,
I don't know. What were we saying?
I mean, it's GTA, guys. I mean, it's one of the most popular franchises ever.
Everybody's gonna be streaming it. Everybody's gonna put it on YouTube. It's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah. And it's been 11 years since the last century. So we never have to wait so long for one. So
yeah, it's like you're aging with the series. You're aging with it almost, Like
I cannot make personally like the thing that I'm most anticipating regarding GTA 6 is all the articles and all the TV reports about how it's ruining the youth.
Oh
and
yeah,
how it's and how GTA is and how not just GTA, how gaming is actually ruining society as a whole. And if we as a civilization expire, it's going to be because of gaming. Exhibit A, GTA 6. I cannot wait for those.
Yeah, it's definitely coming. You're gonna see all kinds of articles talking about it. It's a catalyst of violence and all that. Which I mean, that's fair if that's what you want to believe. But I don't know. Like it's just that the weight of a GTA Rockstar game. I'm really excited about it. Another honorable mention is Avowed. Have you guys heard about Avowed? Any?
Remind me what that is because I have an Avowed here somewhere.
It's like a first-person like fantasy game where it's like you have I think it's mostly magic. I don't even know do you even got a sword in that game?
Yeah, there's like swords, there's guns in there. I've seen.
Oh, is it okay? I didn't know if it had all that, but I knew it had the magic. Yeah, that's right. First screenshot I see here. It looks cool. It looks interesting. It's got a very cool color palette to it. And just like we were talking about with the with 33. I like the fantasy part, and I love fantasy games. I've actually been going back here and forth like to The Witcher 3, and I just love The Witcher 3 because of that very fantasy type feel to it. So, but anyway, I think that's all of mine. There's obviously more, but especially with how I'm gonna be playing games, those are the ones that I'm specifically looking forward to. Unless John's like, hey, I want to do an episode on this, and then we play it. So, do you guys got anything else? Any ones pop up top of your head you wanted to mention?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Yeah. No, well, look, at the end of the day, man, I think everything we've contributed to the show, like, I'm just excited to be able to talk about games.
I just before we go, I do want to get your thoughts on this if y'all even seen it. So Metroid Prime 4 finally got shown off.
Metroid.
Now I am somewhat of a Metroid fan a little bit. I do like the Prime games. But This one to me, kind of when they showed it, I was not as hype as I was kind of hoping to be. I don't know how you guys felt about the series or the game, if y'all even, are like that, but just wanted to throw that out there because I know that's a big game that was anticipated for a lot of people and we've heard about for I don't know how long now.
Yeah, I remember when Dread came out and people were like, "Oh, we finally got Prime 4." But it's like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Metroid is one of those games that franchises that I really enjoy, but from a distance. Mostly because, I mean, I remember I played a lot of Fusion back in the day. I really like that one.
Right. Yep.
But I haven't played any of the Prime games. Like nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly something that's stuck in my childhood. I would like to get back on it, but I have to like buy a Nintendo console specifically to buy those games. That's like a tough sell. So
Yeah, I know. It sucks too because I mean, like, it's again, and this is not the trash on Nintendo, but if they would just put out a console that could just somewhat compete with, I mean, you don't even have to, right? Just if you just put on PS4 level, like I'd be fine with that. Like PS4, Xbox One.
Well, that's probably going to be the next one, honestly. I think they're going to make like just an upgraded Switch. It's going to be more 8th gen.
Yeah, there's no reason, dude. Check this shit out. When I had I have a Switch, but it's like collecting dust. I actually used it. My sister-in-law came in. We played some Mario Kart on it, but like when I had a Switch Lite because I was trying to go cheap. I wanted one. I was like, oh, let's spend $200. Like, give me a Switch Lite. The first game I got was Link's Awakening. And it's essentially just a remake of the first one, I think, or maybe it is
it's the Game Boy game that came out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they remade the visuals to where it's 3D, but it's still top down, kind of like the old school games. And I'm like, bro, like it's stuttering really bad. It's like 15 FPS for this little ass cheap game, and I'm like, I feel like I could get at least 30 off of my phone if I found an emulator for it. And so, like, the Switch really just has left a really bad sour taste in my mouth because I'm not a big frame rate guy, but man, when it's like stuttering that bad, it's unplayable.
Well, I mean, it's kind of getting old, kind of showing its age. I feel like, and it was not up to standards because it wasn't trying to, of course, but it wasn't up to standards even when it came out. So when it came out, it was really like up to like 2006 standards. We were talking performance wise. So
yeah. No, it's a shame because there are some great series on the Switch, but will I ever play them? I don't know, dude. I think the performance.
I don't have a problem with the performance. I gladly buy a Switch and buy a few games that are exclusive to Switch, like Bayonetta 2, 3, all the Prime games. If only I could get them at a decent price.
But that's true.
Do not drop in price. I could not believe this. You can get a game that came out 2 years ago on our Xbox and PS5 for like $30. No problem.
It's like discount what? That's not even in the dictionary.
That it's really not. I feel like even if you mention like this, if you're like an intern at Nintendo and you mention the word discount, you get like fired on the spot.
Dude, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still like $60 or $70 brand new.
And that came out like when?
Like fucking 2011, 2012 or something like that. Because they had Mario Kart 8 and then they upgraded it to the Deluxe when the Switch came out. So I mean the game's like damn near like 15 years old. Maybe not that old, but maybe that's old.
But I mean, come on.
And like they never have any sales, like any deals, like ever. It's crazy.
Because they don't need to. Because Nintendo fans are absolutely unhinged.
Yeah, and like to be honest, like I don't feel like a lot of games, can pick up sales like after their initial launch, like maybe years down the line. I feel like, and this is just speculating, I have no idea, but I feel like most Nintendo sales happen at the start and like no one buys them after that. I kind of feel like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, they I don't know what it is. They don't lose much value. And the thing is, like, someone I was watching a YouTube video, somebody said like their games run the shittiest, but yet they're the most expensive. And I mean it's kind of a blunt way of putting it. Because I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you got to give it to Nintendo. They have creativity. I mean, like you look at some of the games they have. I mean, they encourage creativity, and that's one of the things that Jan and I have talked about on the show. Is that, and I know, like Jan and I talked about like indie games, right? And I've dabbled a little bit in those, just trying to get a different feel for it. But Nintendo, that's a lot of their backlog. A lot of the games they drop is it's a lot of creative indie type titles. And if you could be into that, oh dude, you got like 1,000 some odd games that you can play. Jan, what you got to say about that? Did you have anything to say, Jan?
No, nothing. Just that, I mean, I agree what you say. Sure, they are literally like a huge colossus in gaming, but they're kind of taking advantage of that, and I'm not okay with it. You know, there's just abuse of power at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also doesn't help that you can't get their stuff anywhere else. Even like, you know, like PlayStation and Xbox games, you can get those other on PC now. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, F them. I mean, like the thing is, at the end of the day,
no, honestly, really,
like, F them. Like, no, like what I was gonna say with like F them is the fact of like, bro, like if you put anything Nintendo in your videos, if you have it in your thumbnail, they fucking flag that shit. Even if you're talking good about the game, it's like, bro, fuck them, dude. Who cares?
The war they have with like emulators that emulate games that like they haven't repackaged since like 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
They're a monster is what they are.
It's hard to be a fan. It's hard to be a fan of it. But like when you see people's videos and they have like shelves and shelves and shelves full of like Nintendo Switch games, I'm like, bro, like are you okay? Are you can you eat? Like, do you have food on the table? Are you feeding your family? Like, how the fuck are you even doing that? Like, I'd have to take out like a second mortgage to pay for any of their games. Anyway, but I don't know, bro. Like, Nintendo is there's something else. But I think like what I was gonna say earlier was I do think we did a really good job of contributing like some of our games we're looking forward to for this year and next. And honestly, I'm excited about where gaming's at, man. For once, I'm actually looking forward to it.
So nice to hear.
We have a lot, dude. For a while, I was really struggling, but there's like every time we go through a new game, I start to kind of smirk a little bit because I remember how fun gaming used to be. I remember just how fun it used to be. What do you have, Russ?
I think, and it also helped because even like at the start of this year, like we didn't know what was coming out like at all.
Yeah.
It was only in like the last couple of months that we actually like heard of stuff coming out this year at the end of this year and for next year. So we were kind of sitting in an unknown for a while, and it wasn't looking that great, minus one thing, maybe one or two things. Like, so yeah, it was definitely kind of dark.
Yeah, it was looking bleak, man. And to Jan's argument, one of the things we talked about was like, okay, well, like if you don't find anything good in the main releases, play some indie games. But it's just like indie games just don't have that same. For me, it's like the same oomph. Like I'm not against them. Like I was playing one just recently. Actually, Jan and I were going to talk about it maybe consider talking about on the show. Do you remember the one I was telling you about, Jan? It's like kind of like you're like a gunslinger. It's like a top down. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, but it's got a really cool concept. It's not just like hold the left trigger and shoot with the right trigger. It's more of like it's top down, and like when you run out of ammo, it's like you'll see a revolver pop up on the screen, and you got to put each round in the casing. It's really cool. Like it just changes it up, and that's the kind of engine like stuff that I'm looking forward to in games now. But I've been really on this decline of being interested in this medium, like in general. So it just feels good to be excited about games, dude. We got a lot of stuff to look forward to, and it gives us more shit to talk about on the show. So that's kind of like a win-win. Too much. Yeah. I mean, we're probably not gonna be able to talk about half of it. I mean, like we might want to stick to some movies for a little while, man, because I think I could sit down and watch a hour and a half, 2 hour long movie as opposed to complete a 50-hour story. I just don't I just don't think I can do it anymore. But yeah, I know we're kind of getting to the end of the show here, so we can wrap this on up. But I think we've contributed a lot as far as talking about some things we're looking forward to. Gaming is looking pretty decent again. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yes, sir.
I think it's looking good. So before we head out of here, do you guys? We'll start with our guests. One, just want to say, Russ, I do appreciate you coming on the show. I know it's kind of last minute, not last minute, but it was a week out. We had other topic for the show, but I think our lives have been just muddled here lately, and I just haven't had the time to really do things. And I know Jan's been doing his own stuff, so I appreciate you coming on short notice. Come chat with us. Hopefully, this won't be the last time. But before we leave for the day, Russ, do you got anything you'd like to say to the people, to us? What you got going on? The floor is yours, man.
As always, I appreciate you guys for having me on. I was looking forward to this one, especially after the way this week went. I was like, okay, Sunday, let's get it going. But yeah, man, still continuing with creating the videos. I know I haven't put anything out in a while, but that's just because I'm doing a lot of editing on stuff to try and possibly have like consistent uploads. So hopefully that's something to look forward to. But in the meantime, just playing games and living life. That's about it.
Amen to that. And by the way, I will put all of Russ's information down in the comments section below, so you can go follow him over on his YouTube channel after you like this episode. Jan, got anything you want to say to the people and to see what all we got going on as well? I mean, I know we're kind of shaky when it comes to the show. We're going to have to sit down and talk about some topics.
yeah, our planning has been shaky since for a while now, but we do plan on being forthcoming. We're marching on and kind of accepting whatever the future has in store for us, both for the show and game. And you know what? The future looks bright. That's to me, that's the final line here. Might be a bit cheesy, but the future looks bright. Don't give up, guys. Don't give up on your dreams, and definitely don't get screwed over by nostalgia. Look forward.
Look forward. That's right. That's beautiful. No truer words, man. That's good. So thank you guys for checking another episode of Deadhead Podcast, episode 52. You can find us on YouTube. Be sure to follow our Twitter/X page. Stupid. Follow us on Instagram. We also have a TikTok as well, even though I haven't posted to it in like a month. Thanks to our co-host here. He was able to put pretty much every episode of the Deadhead Podcast on Apple Podcasts. We can't do Spotify right now, so be sure to listen to us while you go to work or whatever you're doing. Really would appreciate that. And I think because we did the show today, we won't have a show next week, but we will let you guys know when we're back and ready for episode 53, which right now it's a question mark on what that topic's going to be. So we will see what's going on.
Surprise.
We'll yeah, that's right. That's right. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, keep them guessing, man. But thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. Stay dead, my friends.